my test.
So the Sunsteel Syndicate, continuing their journey to the southeastern, northeastern corners of the Empire to track down Varys' friend, have decided to pass through the Vesta Rounds to kind of cut across that space, heading to Fendai Sholat, and through that and upward. The day before, you spent the night at the Luthari trading post. Varys was able to obtain some potions from an enterprising and aspiring Marduzeki halfling named Lance, who saw a need and, like any good entrepreneur, rushed in to fill that void, even though it might have been most likely illegal to do so at the trading post. But in any case, the potions were acquired, and that is what matters. The next morning, there was some hubbub about the political conflict in the nearby city of Panavort-Desh, whose chaos was enough to send Varys out to tame and rein in the situation, give some organization to the competing protesters outside, as well as some departing words of wisdom for the director of the trading post, Carver, to finally get him to listen and take a side. After that, you set off through the Vesta Rounds in an effort to possibly cut off some time while also tracking down a Manticore to get some of those tail spikes that you want to make some of those potions. You journeyed through this environment of exceptionally round and tall hills. Fought some prairie prowlers that had snuck up on the party. Met a druid named Herrick, who helped you, and then kept moving northwards through the rounds. But unfortunately, the sun was setting and darkness was fast approaching before you were able to achieve your destination that Herrick had pointed you toward, and you were forced to set up camp in the middle of the Vesta Rounds, far off the beaten path, under a moonless night. And so it was that in the witching hour of the early morning, two ghosts appeared. Luckily, Ilea was vigilant to bring you to attention before any serious damage could occur. And while the conflict itself was brief, it was not without any lasting impacts, as both Varys and Ilea were literally scared decades into the future. After that, everybody has completed the long rest. Ilea went back into the tent to ostensibly take a brief nap of recovery of some kind, as she is now suddenly 40 years older than she was but a few minutes before. So as the sun begins cresting over into the east, there's a few clouds, and there's a slight breeze that rustles through, kind of heralding the coming dawn, rustling the leaves. And while it's brisk, it's not nearly as cold as it has been in the last 2 weeks. It seems winter is finally giving way, spring is finally here, and doing its own morning stretches. So, Sunsteel Syndicate, as the events of this fateful encounter the ramifications begin to sink in these early morning hours, what do you wish to do?
It's a great question. So Ignatz has did not sleep super well after the ghosts were there. I think he was quite restless. Still sleeping in the armor though, on this particular occasion. I think especially after that. So I think it's probably fair to say that he's up, um, if not earlier than everyone else. He's up. Um, he's not up later than anyone else for sure. I think he's up, um, kind of stoking a bright fire, as the sun's coming up, and um, maybe adding a little bit too much wood to the fire. Because every time he like stops and sits down, he doesn't sit still for more than a couple of minutes before he gets up and like hacks another like dead log to bits to toss into the fire. Um, he just seems really restless and is like, I feel like, um, we need to do something about this, but I don't know what.
I think we kind of need to decide if we're going to go back somewhere to try and do something or if we're going to keep moving forward to try to do something.
Well, I don't know what we can even do. This is this is unknown territory to me, and I don't know what sort of magic. I'm gonna just keep my sick voice, by the way, because it sounds like my old man voice now.
It's perfect.
I
It's
love
great.
it.
You just have to be sick for the rest of the campaign.
um, but I don't know. This is unfamiliar territory to me. I don't even know if Ilea knows of clerics that can undo this sort of uh, this sort of curse. And with that, I'm gonna walk over to Ilea and kind of wake her up a little bit,
Okay. Well,
make sure she's up.
as you begin heading over to her tent where she's sleeping, you can hear. Sounds like her armor is. She's awake. She's doing something, but it sounds like the plates of her armor are kind of clinking. She's kind of moving stuff around. Um, but the tent's closed.
Ilea,
You just hear there's like a brief pause, but and then after a couple seconds, the clinking of armor continues.
Ilea, can I come in?
Sure.
All right, I'll open the tent and kind of step inside.
She's kind of sitting on her bedroll, halfway through taking off her armor. The pauldrons are off. She's kind of got the just like the chain shirt underneath, and is kind of working on removing the greaves and the sabatons currently as you walk in. She doesn't look at you. She's just kind of focusing on taking off her armor, which is a process.
This is an unfortunate and enraging occurrence. I understand that. But if any of us know how to undo it, it would have to be you. Do you have any inkling or know of any spell or any cleric capable of undoing a curse like this?
Well, I imagine that if we could find a rector of a large enough place, they would be able to do it. Unfortunately, we are days away from the nearest city with no means of fast transportation to get there.
I'm aware.
And I don't think that this is of my capability. And another the sabatons come off, and she starts taking the boots off.
What of the What of the druid?
Might be possible.
I don't know if such healing magic is something known to the druids, but if we're days away from the nearest city, then that seems like the only logical or the only real option we have.
A boot comes off. Make an insight check, Ferris.
My there is nice. So I'll see if I can do this.
Nice.
I'm on a weird slant.
Oh, you can get you with that. You can just set this for now.
We're gonna use the table. Well, not good. It's like a what is that? 8.
Okay.
No, sorry, 10.
A 10?
I don't know if that.
Let's go for this.
Yeah.
That's fine.
She's being very stiff. Stiffer than usual. Which, given the circumstances, it's to be expected.
You mean emotionally or physically? She's like having a hard time moving. Okay.
It's a 10.
I'm gonna
It's a 10.
look. I'm not much happier about this. All right. You think that my body doesn't ache? You think that my joints all of a sudden don't feel a lot weaker than they did? You think that the ideas and my missions and purposes haven't fleeted from my eyes? You think I'm not frustrated with this situation? Of course I am.
She kind of glances over to you briefly and says, I appreciate what you're trying to do, Varys, but I'm really not in the mood to talk right now.
Then let's not talk. Let's just try to do what we can. Time is of the essence, I imagine. If we are going to undo this, then we need to move. If you don't want to talk, that's fine. Let's pack up our things and let's just go. And let's see if we can put an end to this. If we can't, we'll find something else from there.
The last of her armor is now removed. She goes over to her pack, and she's still like in the Under Armour shirts and stuff, but she pulls out a set of kind of fabric clothes, just kind of like puts it over, and these look more along the lines of what a rector might wear. Although the styling is unique, very different. Of course, you understand she doesn't necessarily worship the deity Alash. Shantea is the goddess that she worships, which is not a very strong presence or religion within the empire. And she kind of puts this kind of more of a toga type thing over her undershirts and stuff, with some colorations of green and deep blues, and takes her a small pouch out of the bag and just gets up, kind of shoulders past you, and just begins walking out kind of away from the group, kind of off to the distance. The rest of you guys have kind of overheard Varys' voice a little bit. You see Ilea kind of walk out, not in her armor, but in more religious finery, and doesn't even really acknowledge you at the moment, and just stalks off, kind of tracing along the kind of copse of the trees that you're going, and just starts walking off in that direction.
I think Ignatz would have been packing up, packing up camp during the conversation. I think he probably just reaches into the fire and pulls out a half-charred potato. That's breakfast. Just like with his bare hands, right? And he's packed up everything. Sees Ilea walking out of the tent and almost calls out to her to say, morning, but then sees her disposition and the change and just kind of like catches himself and watches her go. And then he turns to Mel and says, I think we better get out of here.
And then I'll watch her go as well and turn back to you and say, well, if we're gonna keep up with her, yeah, we gotta go.
So I'll if Ilea looks like she's just gonna like flat out leave, Ignatz probably won't wait for the others. He'll sling his backpack over his shoulders and saddle up and follow her on the horse.
Okay. If you want to make an insight check to kind of get a reading on her intent as she's leaving, you may do so.
Okay, it's pretty good. I have permanent advantage on insight checks, so that's 18.
Nice. So first of
Good
all,
stuff.
she's stalking away, not in her armor, which can mean a couple of things. Means she probably doesn't mean to go very far. Or she just doesn't care anymore.
Right.
But she's also wearing something that you've never seen her wear before, apart from normal clothes. There does seem to be a purpose and a reason for why she's wearing what she's wearing. And you just kind of get the sense that she just wants some space for a short little bit. And does not intend to abandon right now.
Okay. All right. Once I have gleaned that she's not just like walking off into the woods to die or something crazy, I will kind of make a mental note of the direction she went, and probably circle back to camp.
Okay. You come back to the camp, and those of you who are kind of breaking camp, organizing your stuff, you can see kind of flying among the clouds some of those like the hawks and birds of prey that are kind of just gliding with the wind high above. In one of the valleys, you see what looks like a group of deer kind of in one of these little valleys. Kind of watch them for a little bit. Despite the dangers that you've seen and expect to find within the Vesta rounds, the landscape from this perspective is still breathtaking, especially as the sun is coming up. You can actually see like the sunbeams coming down at a low angle, kind of breaking amongst the clouds, casting a very kind of leopard print or cheetah print shadow cast all across the landscape.
So Varys is packing up, and to anyone who sees him notices that his stuff is not as organized as it usually is. He's a little bit more hurried and takes a little less time and a little less care with how detailed and organized his stuff is this time. He's just a little bit more frantic in packing.
Yeah. I think Ignatz would probably notice this. And your horse's name is Prince? Is that right?
Yeah, Prince.
Okay. I think after, leading Kaiser over to a patch of grass to get some breakfast, Ignatz will hop off and kind of walk over and just like pet Prince for a bit and look like he's not like doing anything important, but he is getting ready to help Varys onto his horse if he needs it.
Also one thing is despite the lack of sleep some of you may have felt you have gotten, there is a sense of alertness as you guys come awake. Strangely peppy. And everybody starts off with 3 temporary hit points.
Wow. I'll take it. Asking no questions. I feel faster, radder, more adequate.
Cool.
Okay. Anything else that you guys want to do while breaking camp in the vicinity? By the time camp is broken, Ilea still has not returned. It's been about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Mallory, can I kind of call Mallory over?
Are you like waving me over, or do you actually like say my name?
Can I? Yeah, Mallory, can I talk to you real quick?
Yeah. I'll walk over.
Look, it's clear that Ilea wants some alone time, but we need to make haste if we're going to put an end to whatever this curse is. Would you mind sneaking through the woods after her and seeing if you can find her? And obviously don't be noticed if possible.
Oh, just to check on
Just to check on her, just to make sure she's okay.
Yeah, I can do that.
Thanks, because we may need to leave quickly.
Okay. I guess I'll just follow which direction we saw her go off in.
Okay.
Yeah,
Went that away.
yeah. Ignat saw her.
Yeah.
So
I'll first make a stealth check, Mallory.
Okay. $21.
Okay. You head off in the direction that you watched her stalk off and kind of keep to the trees, staying outside direct sunlight. And you head in a direction for about 5 minutes or so when you kind of come around an edge of the forest and you can see one of the, like, one hill over, kind of at the top. You can just make out the brilliant, nearly white hair of Ilea standing there on the top of this hill, doing something. It's still a decent distance away. It's kind of hard to get a real good idea of what she's doing up there, but she's either kneeling or standing or something. But she's stationary there at the top of this hill.
Okay. How far did I walk?
You probably went sneaking at a sneaking pace, probably only like 3 or 4 minutes before you first caught a glimpse of her. She looks like she'd probably still be probably another 5 or 6 minutes at a normal pace, walking distance away.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go back real quick then and just tell them that I saw her. Catching the vibe that she definitely doesn't want to talk to anyone right now. So I'll go back to wherever the boys are and point out in the direction that I went. She's kind of out that way. She's on top of a hill doing what I would assume to be something religious.
Yeah. Ignatz has begun to pack Ilea's stuff.
well, here's hoping she's praying for a miracle.
Well, maybe.
If the gods will even listen.
And Ignatz, without looking up, has been packing like all the stuff inside the tent, and then comes out and takes out the poles in it. Without looking up at Varys, he says, Varys, I do hope we can get this sorted out, but for what it's worth, you look pretty good with gray hair.
I'm just gonna kind of frown at him.
It it makes me want to, I don't know, listen to what you have to say a little bit more. Like you kind of know what you're talking about. You remind me of Captain Lyko a little bit.
Whoa, that David's a blast from the past.
What are
You
you
know,
talking about?
Ignatz,
That was only like a month ago.
I appreciate the sentiment, but unfortunately, for my purposes, I need the body of a much younger man.
Oh,
Being older and experienced, it's not going to matter much for what I hope to achieve one day.
well, I hope we can get this sorted out then.
If we don't, well, then it's not my responsibility anymore.
Well, if you need something from a young guy, just let me know.
Thank you. But there's nothing much you can offer me right now. Let's just see if we can find that druid.
Oh, the druid. You think he could help?
I think it's our best shot. Ilea said that we're days away from a city with a large enough clergy that could cast a healing spell of that magnitude.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think we have days to heal this.
It doesn't. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
How much time do you
regardless,
think you have?
I'm not sure how long I have, but I do know that the sooner the better. And if the odds go down with every day, then I'd rather we try to find something today.
Yeah. Let's hurry.
So, I think I'm going to try for the druid.
Okay. You have my axe.
Thank you. Perhaps then I should be off to try and find the druid while you guys keep an eye on Ilea.
Ignatz is like, whoa. We're gonna split the party? That doesn't usually go well.
Look, Ignatz. Either I find the druid and I get healed, or that's the end of my journey anyway.
Yeah, I mean, there's a third option, which is you get killed by wolves on your way there. Could we spare let's give her 5 minutes?
I
I don't know what that means, but usually that's what people say when it's just a little bit of time, right?
Sure, but I don't know if we have. I don't know if we have 5 minutes.
Okay, maybe 10 then?
That's more.
That's
more.
okay. How many minutes? Don't tell me. Can we just wait a little bit and see if she comes back?
Even if she does come back, she didn't seem in the talking mood. You heard it from Mallory herself.
Yeah, but she could come with us, and she could, if the druid can help you, maybe he can help her too.
Yeah, she also is in need of some kind of assistance.
If it works with me, then I can bring the druid back.
That's a good point. Looking around, Ignatz registers this is where we got attacked last night, so he doesn't feel like it's a particularly safe spot to leave anyone. But looking around, can I make like a nature check or something, or survival, to see if I feel like this is a relatively safe spot during the day?
Yeah. I'll say make a nature check.
10.
Okay. It's probably about as safe as anywhere within this environment.
Okay.
You've only spent one day within this region. Don't have a lot of pre-existing knowledge going in, but just kind of recalling most of the traffic, most of the animal traffic, prey and predator, seems to be down within the creases between the hills. So
Are we up on the hill right now?
you're kind of up on a slope. You're not at the very top, but
Okay.
you are at an elevated position, and so you think, well, probably higher up is better.
Okay. Verse, you can talk to people from far away, right?
Not that far, but in a moderate distance,
You think she's too far away?
most likely.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll give her 15 minutes, and if she's not back, then we'll head out. Or some minutes. Ignatz is just looking like kind of antsy. Like, I get that we gotta hurry, but I don't want to ditch her.
Sorry. Yeah.
How about this? If she's not back in I know this 3. If she's not back in 3 minutes, we go get her. How about that?
You would interrupt her prayer.
I think it's better than ditching her in the woods.
She already left to be alone in the woods.
But I got the sense that she wasn't like leaving, you know?
No, she wants to be alone in the woods.
Yes, she wants privacy, but she doesn't want to be ditched by her party. You know, I don't think she's trying to go off and make it alone.
Well,
I'd rather interrupt her. I'll do it if you don't want to.
if you feel strongly about it, then do it. I can't stop you. I will wait.
Yeah. Ignatz will ask directions from Mallory real quick. Just right over there around the bend.
Yeah, if you get lost, come back. I'll take you.
Me lost? Never.
I know.
Saddles up or mounts up and takes off, not stealthily, in the direction of Ilea.
Okay. So you head off on that direction. As you kind of come around, only about like a minute or so, you look at the hill that Mallory had pointed out. Elia's not there, but you look down. She's come down the hill and is kind of just coming up on the other side of the valley crease and is heading back up the hill, kind of towards you guys.
Okay. I'm gonna wave at her.
She just kind of looks up and just does like a little acknowledging hand wave.
It's a several minute walk. Does she look like she's struggling, like an old lady wandering through the woods?
Not really. There's I mean, she's not in like a hurried pace by any means. It's more of a leisurely climb.
I think Ignatz's training of respect your elders from his mother kind of kicks in. He rides Caesar or Kaiser over there and steps off the horse and says, would you care for a ride?"
She just kind of glances at you
Ignatz is just holding out a hand.
It takes. She kind of stops, and there's kind of an unreadable expression on her face, and then she just kind of nods.
Okay. I'll help her up on the horse and then hop up behind her, and we'll just ride back over.
Okay.
Pez's tough; he can handle it.
Yeah. Which Kaiser does seem to. You imagine that Kaiser does kind of sense. He seems to be a little bit more sensitive when Aaliyah is riding on. He seems to know that there's something wrong with her in that regard. So you trot back to the site of the camp where the tents have been broken down, where Varys is waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Aaliyah definitely slides off the saddle, comes back down, finds her own horse, and says, "Well, I think there's an option. It's not ideal, however."
Did your god answer you?
There's, I have that, ability to speak with people that I've met from far away. And after thinking what Varys said, I asked Herrick, our druid friend, if he knew of a way to help us in this plight. And he said he would be willing to help for a price, as it were. I don't think he will be able to help both of us in time, however. And if it comes to a choice between myself or Varys, I say let Varys do it first.
Whoa.
We can discuss that when we get there, but let's not give ourselves false hope first. Let's do what he needs us to do, whatever that may be, and then we can discuss further.
Did he name his price?
He recalled that we were tracking a Manticore. And he said that if we were able, it's kind of difficult to communicate with long conversations over this ability that I have, but essentially what he said was if we could collect a claw or a tooth, he said an enhanced claw, a vibrant claw or tooth from a Manticore, that if we could do this and bring it to him, then he'd be able to help.
Okay.
Well then, I suppose time is of the essence with finding this Manticore.
Mm-hmm.
We've already tracked it this far. Let's make haste.
And he wants a down payment?
What?
Like, we need to kill the Manticore first, or can he help us and then we kill the Manticore and pay him back?
My understanding is that was to happen first.
Okay.
Well, let's move then.
Yeah.
There's no telling how long it'll take us to track it down, so let's be swift.
It's true. He did tell us where to look, though. Right.
Yes, he did.
So I think, and maybe Mel, you take the lead, and because it's probably going to be a nature or survival sort of thing. We can help each other out.
We have our fate. Here we go.
Yeah, Mel and I will take the lead and just we'll be on our way.
Okay. So Ilea
Yeah,
wanders
let's do
over
it.
to her
Yeah.
horse. She gets on Daisy, kind of pats her mare's neck, and she's still not in her armor. That's been packed away. But based on time, she doesn't really seem to mind one way or the other. It would take her about 10 minutes to put it back on, half that if somebody helps. But
I think I'll notice. And I'll just kind of as we're going, I'll say, "Hey, do you feel comfortable without your armor?"
she kind of gives it a second thought and says, I suppose it would probably be best. And so if you want to help her put it on, it'll only take 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
So she removes her clerical robes. You help her put the armor back on. And only 5 minutes later, the group moves off in a northerly direction toward the spot that Herrick had previously indicated. So, the skill challenge continues from last time. We were at 4 successes, I believe. And
Yeah.
only needed one more success.
Right. I had an idea for what I was going to propose because I hadn't contributed yet. Once we get to a place where, because we're looking for a specific landmark, right?
Yeah, so you're looking for a space within the Vestal rounds where it's almost like there's a round that is missing. It's a flattened, almost like a valley clearing, devoid of hilly spots that should be pretty conspicuous once you find it.
Okay. I think as we get kind of close to where we're supposed to find it, I'm going to ride partway up a hill, one of these rounds, and dismount, and then climb one of the tallest trees I can find, and peer out over the valleys to see if I can, in the hills, to see if I can spot this landmark.
Okay. Yeah. Because you're pretty good at climbing trees. You've climbed trees before.
Yep.
I'll say that this is finding the tallest tree on a big hill that will let you see far away. So let's do this. Have we done a perception check for the
I
challenge?
don't remember.
I don't think we have.
We have to have a perception check.
I'm going to say I was going for athletics
Yeah.
because that's what it was for climbing trees in the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I understand.
So we can do. Yeah. Because you can, the thing is you can climb many trees, but you want to be able to climb the right tree, the one that will grant the biggest one. So I will say make this a nature or perception check.
Okay. Perception it is. Come on, baby. Don't mess up. That's pretty good. 18.
Excellent. So after maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours of riding, kind of sticking to the sloping, not quite the lowlands, but not the highlands either, kind of tracing along the rounds, you're starting to feel like, well, he said it's probably about this distance. So Ignatz goes up and climbs up one of the big rounds. And one thing that you've noticed as well is the further north that you've gone, the bigger the hills have gotten. So after 2 hours of traveling, these rounds are probably 50% bigger than the ones that you had camped on. And so it takes a little bit longer to get to the top of this. But at the top of this, there's a copse of trees. And in particular, there's looks like one of the just a big copse of aspen trees that are kind of hanging out there at the top. Some of the leaves are starting to come in, but most of the branches are devoid of leaves for the most part. And while it's not a very like singular big trunk tree, the branches and the trunks are so close together that it's easy for you to find leverage to pull yourself and kind of climb up to the tops. And the view from this distance, from this altitude, is breathtaking. You see all around the hills. You kind of look back the way you came, and you can swear that out in the distance, there's one round that looks different than the rest, where Herrick lives. As you turn your attention back to the north, as you turn your attention back towards the north,
at this distance.
you see there's 2 or 3 more levels, as you might say, of rounds before, and then you look at the next layer of rounds after that, and the spacing from this perspective isn't congruent with the rest of it. So you're thinking that there might be a space between those hills over there. That might be what you're looking for.
Okay. I'll look down at the base of the trees and kind of like pick one that forms a line between the one I'm on and the point I'm looking at, so that I can kind of get my bearings when I'm back on the ground. And then I'll slide back down the tree and kind of communicate, like, I think the gap we're looking for is exactly that way. So as long as we go that way, I think we'll get there. And also, I think while I was up in the tree, I would have looked for any other like landmarks that would be visible from the ground to help guide us and make sure we're going the right way.
Yeah. And 3 is a number that you remember, you can recall. You remember 3 more rounds, and you expect to find the clearing there.
And sounds good. Okay, I'll relay that information to the others and say, I think we're getting close.
Well, then perhaps it's time that we start stalking. Maybe we lay a bait trap.
Oh yeah, the onkeg meat from the night before. I would have cut that down as part of the packing up. It's starting to smell pretty strong.
Yes, it is.
Which I think is unpleasant, but also probably a good thing for our purposes. So I will. Yeah, I just got it like bundled up, in some like paper or whatever that we've got, and say, yeah, I don't know, what do manticores look like? Does anybody know? Do they run real fast? Do they fly?
I'm pretty sure they can fly.
They can fly?
Pretty sure they can fly.
Okay.
I think.
So that means they probably hunt in a pretty wide.
Yes.
Yeah. So what if we get to like the next round over and lay out the trap? Give it an hour or two. And
hang around it.
And if that works, then great. And if not, then we go
get a little
check out
the cave.
The cave, yeah. Or if cave, clearing, whatever it is.
Alright.
How's that sound, Mel? You have the most experience with, I think, hunting out of all of us.
Probably, yeah. No, it sounds good to me.
All right. Mel, do you have any poison?
Do I have any poison? Yes.
I just hold out the onkeg meat. This could give us an edge.
That's true. Okay, I pull out the assassin's dagger and work out one of the sets of poison and either dump it on or hand it over. I don't entirely know how it's like stored in the dagger, so I don't know how this is gonna like transfer over.
Yeah,
we're gonna make it work because I've refilled it, so I do know how it works.
Yeah, You have a poisoner's kit, correct?
Yes, that as well.
Are you proficient with your poisoner's kit, or do you just have one?
Yes.
Okay,
No, I am. I'm proficient.
awesome. So the assassin blade dagger, um, in the handle, there's a the handle's kind of hollow, where there's a small kind of vial that you can refill with poison, and it's kind of like somehow through the blade. There's a wick of some kind that draws the liquid up towards the point, and it's supposed to, on contact, be able to inject some of that poison into the bloodstream.
Right. So could I stab the meat chunk?
You could. You would know that the poison wouldn't spread very far within the meat because
Gotcha.
the meat is not living. There's no blood pumping through it.
Right.
So it would be a very concentrated, tiny little speck of poison,
Like a pill.
which might work. But you're proficient with the poisoner's kit, so it probably wouldn't be too difficult to remove the vial and kind of distribute it along the meat slab if you would like to do that.
All right. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Make a... Now, this is easy enough that you don't need to make a check for it, but...
Woohoo!
So you remove the vial. You said one dose?
Uh, yeah, starting with that and just seeing how much it kind of covers, I guess.
Okay. So... Okay. From your understanding, you know that a Manticore is considered a large creature. And you know that the doses, as you understand them, are geared for human-sized creatures.
Right.
So, you probably want more than one dose.
Okay, let's go 2 then.
Okay. So you take your vial and sprinkle 2 doses worth of poison throughout the meat. Well distributed enough, and just for good measure, while it is beginning to kind of decompose a little bit, it's a bit more porous, and so the poison begins to seep into the meat. And what it smells like is when it smells like when you have like one of those trays of like ground beef that you took the beef out and you've cooked it, but then the tray was left out for a day. That's kind of what it smells like.
Ew.
It's not very pleasant. But after spending 10 minutes or so of distributing this poison, you sit back, and after breathing through your mouth for a long time, you're like, okay, I think this is good enough.
Yeah. Well, this is a pretty strong smell. I think maybe we I don't know, should we forego this sneaking and just drop it somewhere near the rounds that we're going for, and then hide? Or what do you guys want to do?
Yeah, we should lay it out, and then we should try to find a vantage point we can watch it from.
Yeah, but should we sneak there to where we're dropping it off, or should we just get there? Because sneaking is going to be hard.
We should definitely send Mallory to sneak it there.
But sneaking with stinky meat is going to be really hard.
Yeah, well, sneaking with loud clanking armor is going to be even harder.
Right, but I was just thinking maybe we just...
I imagine that manticores are pretty smart, right? And if they hear or if they notice a bunch of people dropping off some meat, they're going to be suspicious. Right?
Or if they just hear it and then they show up and they look and they're like, oh, looks like some adventurers killed something. I get to eat it now. I don't know. All I'm saying is if we need to get there and drop it and go, like, what I'm afraid of is we try to sneak, Manticore smells stinky meat and finds it on us, and then we fight and get ambushed. That's what I'm afraid of.
Well, we can keep a distance, but we should. If we're trying to lay a trap, it's not gonna. We don't see it right here, right now. So it's gonna obviously gonna take some time to get here.
How about this? I'm not going to be able to sneak. We've pretty much shown that at this point. How about I will go ahead and I'll try to sneak, but I'll be in front so that if it comes after me, you all can get shots off on it before it sees you. And I'll be okay.
We're not exactly in a place to be ambushed. We're in a wide open field. We can see it coming.
But there's trees, right? There's a lot of trees around.
So you guys haven't. You're like one hill away from getting to where the clearing is.
Oh, we're
right by the clearing.
So we are where we wanted to lay the trap.
It's been like an hour and a half since Ignatz came down, and you guys have been
Okay,
walking.
I was talking as if I had just come down from the tree, but we're already where we wanted to lay the trap, right?
I mean, if that's what you wanted to have done, then that's fine. I just assumed that you guys were walking and talking.
No, that's great. I like this idea that we were walking and talking. We were like riding the horses and talking about like, should we sneak there or not? And then like we're there already, so it's just OBE, right? It doesn't even matter anymore. It's like well, here we are.
Well, for whatever reason, in my mind, I'm like, they're going. So I guess if you had stopped, you would have to stop. You would have had to have stopped to do the poison on the meat and everything anyway. So yeah, we'll do that then.
Okay. So we are there or we aren't?
Not yet.
Okay. That's funny. I was just in my mind's eye. I was imagining us already there and without any complications. I feel like we could just go. Okay. Who wants to sneak? Do you want to sneak?
I am not lucky with sneaking. Let's just send Mallory off. I'll keep it a distance far enough behind her that I can still keep in contact with her and you guys.
Mel, do you want to carry this nasty chow?
Just put it in the bag of holding. And then pull it
yes,
out
actually, it's been my dream to carry something that gross, so I would love to.
Okay. I wouldn't put it past you, I guess,
Just put it in the bag of holding, and then pull it out of the bag of the holding when you get to the spot.
Yeah, I mean, I cut off a bunch of like legs and joints and stuff, so it's all in like little pieces that could probably fit pretty well. So, all right, just like
the face that Connor just made is the face that Mallory is currently making.
One piece at a time. Just start putting rotten meat, rotten poisoned, like ant chunks into the bag of holding.
Ew.
And we'll hand Mallory the bag of holding and say Godspeed.
Which also, for the record, it's more like crab meat, where there's like a hard chitinous shell on the outside, and it's the interior that's been moldering.
Oh my gosh. Land crabs.
Land crabs, yeah.
I'm here for it.
All right, you got this.
Okay. So she'll sneak off. We'll give her like a 2-minute head start, and then we'll ride at a normal pace to catch up to her. That's what I'm imagining. So we'll kind of like catch up about the time that she arrives.
Okay.
Or like right after she's finished placing just dropping the nasty crap on the ground and finding a hiding spot.
Okay.
Yeah, and we are all trying to hide.
We are?
Yes.
Yeah, once we get there.
Once we get to a spot.
So you're hiding the meat in the clearing or outside the clearing?
I think outside.
Outside the clearing.
Yeah, because my thought is if we go straight up to the clearing, it might just be there and alert.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if that's the case, well, maybe Mel, do you want to like climb the hill and take a peek down there, see if you see anything?
Sure. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, you can do that before setting the trap, maybe, and then.
Yeah, I'll do that first.
Okay.
Okay.
So Mallory climbs up to the top of the hill, and it's a good-sized hill. It's going to take like 10-15 minutes to get to the top. But Mallory, you climb up to the top, and you look over, and on the other side of this hill, there is indeed a wide clearing, like a valley. From this perspective, you can see that just a little bit beyond this clearing, the rounds continue, but they get closer and closer, so it looks just more like a general mountainous area. And the trees are way denser on that side. And that is another limit of the eastern Kiala forest. But much more further north than you had been before. You can also see the mountain kind of off to the right a bit. Mount Vutal, standing tall and isolated, covered with trees. And even from this perspective, too, you can see the valley pass between Mount Vutal and the other rest of the mountains of the Asian Ridge is a steep valley that looks more like a canyon than anything. And there, kind of nestled in the middle of that canyon, is a city, which looks to be Foundry Table. But within this actual clearing itself, you see that the trees that are there are smaller, not very densely packed together, kind of spread out. There's also, the ground seems to be soft, muddier. There's some puddles of some stagnant water with some grass blades kind of sticking out underneath. And then there seems to be actually a small stream that's kind of running through a channel at the very center of this valley. And yeah, that's probably just snowmelt runoff that's been accumulating. There are a few rocks and boulders. You see a few, like, probably 400 or 500 feet apart from each other, best you can tell, some very large moss-covered boulders and stones that are probably 3 or 4 times as tall as a normal human being would be, that just kind of seem to have been settled here in various spots at the bottom of this clearing. But you don't see any sort of winged beast down there at the moment.
Can you say that one more time? You cut out just a little bit, like right in the middle, and then my internet completely pooped out.
Oh no. Yeah. Do you remember what the last thing I said was?
Not a ton. I kind of got that it was gonna take a while to get to the top of the hill.
So the whole
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
My whole description. Okay. So real quick.
I like your description.
Well, you've practiced once.
Yeah.
If you want, I can do it.
We'll take 2. So at the top of the mountain, or the hill, you have a good view of not just the clearing, but kind of the area roundabout. You're actually kind of on the eastern edge of the Vesta Rounds currently, because you can look up a little bit off to your right, the tall mountain peak of Mount Vutal, still miles away, still snow-capped. And you can see the valley between Mount Vutal and the rest of the Asian mountains. That valley is more of a canyon than it is a valley with steeper walls. But nestled there in the middle of that valley is like a densely built collection of buildings, a city, likely Foundry Table.
Okay.
As for the clearing itself, the trees are sparse and small. The ground is damp and wet from snow melt off. There's a brook, a small, not a brook, but a small stream of water that's kind of coursing down through the middle of it. And boulders, moss-covered boulders, 3 or 4 times the size of a normal human being, kind of scattered about that have come to rest in the middle of this valley. The closest ones are probably 300 or 400 feet apart, but just some random rock structures that kind of dot the space. And while you see birds flying overhead, you don't see a manticore immediately.
Okay. And do these trees look like big enough to climb, or are they too small for that?
The ones at the bottom, they're probably only like 7, 8, 9 feet tall, and they look pretty thin.
Okay. Were you guys wanting me to just go straight down, or do you want me to come back and tell you what I'm seeing on the other side?
I think the plan was for you to scope it out, and if you saw a
Okay.
Manticore, then we would know.
Yeah.
And if you did not, then we would know. So I think you would probably. I mean, it's up to you, but if you
I
think
mean,
you've seen enough, you could come back if you want to go
yeah,
check.
my first instinct is to come back and tell you what I'm seeing, because it's not the best space for us as a group, so we might want to figure out what we want to do before we commit to going down there.
Right.
So I'll probably go back down and kind of explain what the area looks like to you guys, and just kind of explain, like, the trees aren't very big, there are some boulders, but there's not, like, a ton of hiding space. We'd be pretty much out in the open.
Yeah. And I'd say the gap, like if you're still going north, the width of this plain, this kind of, you think that if it were warmer, this place would eventually grow into like a meadow. It's
Gotcha.
like a depression at a higher elevation than the rest of the land roundabout, but it's still kind of a flattened area that's more long than it is wide, and the length of it kind of goes way out to the west. But the actual width, if you kept going north, would probably be maybe 1/4 to a half a mile.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll come back down to talk to you guys, because we should definitely come up with a plan before we just jump into this.
Yep. I think Ignatz would be like, you saw the city. You saw Foundry Table?
I would assume that's what it is. There's definitely a city.
How far away?
Do I have an estimate on how far it was?
Let me think. Probably day and a half.
At a regular pace?
At a regular pace, yeah.
If we booked it, could we get there in less than 24 hours? Like, I guess what I'm asking is, if we estimate a day and a half, going at a fast pace, is that double speed?
No.
No.
It only
Okay.
gives, like a normal day, you go, while you're on horseback too. I think horseback doesn't really change the speed so much. It's, I think it's 24 miles. It's like a difference of a handful of miles.
Okay.
It's a fast pace.
Okay, so there's no way we're gonna get there in time.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time that you guys have gotten here, the sun is right around noonish.
Okay. So we gotta fight this Manticore now. We
Yeah,
don't have
pretty
time
much.
to sit around.
Yeah.
All right. How about we get up on top of that hill? Like, Mel, you were just up there. Does that look like a good place to fight?
On top of the hill?
Yeah, because if we go down there, it's all marshy and probably be hard to move around,
Yeah,
right?
it's gonna be like wet and stuff from snow runoff. I was the top of the hill pretty big?
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty big.
I mean, it's a good size area. Were there a lot of trees up there, or was it already dying off?
No.
That, like, it was pretty much cleared.
Yeah, the top of the mountain, if anything, is even less sparsely populated than the valley is.
Okay.
So as
So
long
there'd
as
be less
everyone's okay with that, then it's great.
there'd be less cover from the sound of it, but if the ground is firmer, then we wouldn't be as our movement wouldn't be as hindered.
And that's a bigger deal for us right now.
That would be hard to
Yeah. So I say we tie up the horses here under cover,
Okay.
and we make our way out to the clearing. We set up the food as kind of bait.
Yeah. I think we don't want to get too far from the horses either, because in a sense, horses are also bait.
In a sense, yes.
If I was a manticore and I could fly and I was big and I saw a bunch of horses tied up, I'd think, that looks like lunch. So
Sure.
if he goes for the horses, we want to be close enough to fight him that way too.
And then we'll tie up the horses just behind us in the clearing.
I like that. I turn to Kaiser. How's that sound to you? Give him a pat. I think he's cool with it. Okay, let's go. We start riding up the hill.
Okay. So the horses, you kind of have to do like a cutting back and forth motion because going straight up is a bit too steep for the horse's comfort. But eventually you get to the top and you see the view that Mallory had described to you previously.
All right. I'm gonna peer down and see if I can just happen to see anything amongst the boulders down there.
Yeah.
Boulders.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
It's a 12.
A 12? Okay.
20.
They're big. They're kind of covered in moss, it seems. They're very conspicuous. Because they're just kind of there in isolation. Hard to tell if these have been placed intentionally or if there's some other natural process that you don't know about. But kind of getting a better feel for the place down there. Like the water that is kind of running is shallow. And you don't think that it would be much of a hindrance to kind of stomp around there. There might be some spots of ground that are obviously softer than others. But for the most part, it's just the ground around the puddles that seem to be like that.
Okay. So I don't see anything that catches my eye. I don't see a manticore watching us from between the rocks.
Nope.
I think in that case, Ignatz is starting to think ahead about how he's gonna get knock something out of the sky if he has to, and so he's looking around for like dead logs, like fallen trees, big rocks here at the top of the hill. Do I see anything obvious like that?
Not at the size that you're kind of hoping for up here. You think that if you wanted something larger, that would have been toward the bottom of the hills.
All right. I'm gonna instead start fiddling with my equipment. I'm gonna take my pike out and I'm gonna start strapping one of my nets onto it with the hopes that, because nets you can't throw them very far.
Right.
But I'm thinking if I go big and then pick up the pike and throw it like a javelin, that maybe the net would travel far enough with it. If it's like doing a flyby, that I might catch it. So I'm just thinking ahead.
Okay.
So I start just kind of like strapping the net onto the pike on like one of the. I'm assuming the net has like weights on it, so it spreads out when you throw it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like between one or two of the weights, just kind of like fastening it on there.
Okay. Interesting.
That's all.
Awesome.
I think Mel, you were
Is
going to set
there?
the trap.
Yeah, so that's
Go
what I was
ahead.
gonna ask if there's a base that looks best for that, and then if there's anything I can try and hide behind.
Okay.
I'm assuming
Um,
not, but I thought check.
yeah, you're kind of hard pressed to find a hiding spot on the top of a hill at noon right now,
Mm-hmm.
because there's just not a lot of trees, and it's mostly only bushes. Um, Depending on the direction that you're trying to hide from, might help.
Okay. Um. Well, I guess I'll set the poisoned meat first.
Okay. And you're gonna put it on the top of the hill, on the slope. Is it on the slope facing down towards the valley? The slope behind it? Where are you thinking of
Probably,
putting it?
probably closer to the valley.
Closer to the valley. Okay. Um, how high up? Percentage? Halfway? Quarter?
Probably a mm, quarter from the top.
Okay. So closer to you than the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. So you find a spot. You begin unloading your burden. This poisoned meat, very a la Monster Hunter, setting it down on the ground. And
Nice call.
go ahead, make a survival check for me.
Okay. $17.
17. Okay. Um. So you find a spot. You put the meat down. You try to scatter it around so it doesn't look too intentionally placed. Maybe it's just the leftovers of some other creature that had feasted here earlier in the day or something. You also, now that the sun is high, the wind is slightly breezy, and it's coming out of the west, and it's kind of coming around, and so you start thinking, well, if the Manticore is down there in the valley, the same way that Herrick said it was, you try to find a spot that would try to be down upwind of to try to get the scent to waft over. So you actually end up tacking a little bit toward the west, a little bit, find a good spot and set it down, and hope that you've made it appealing enough and enough to catch the attention of the Manticore, which you still haven't seen, but apparently it's around somewhere.
It's here somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And then you return to the rest of the party.
Yeah. Well, and assuming that like we're hoping it comes up the hill, I want to hide somewhere where I'm like looking out at the hill, the edge.
Okay, so
If I can find somewhere.
yeah.
If I can't, I can't. But
So the bushes are kind of low. You'd have to get really low to the ground to offer any sense of hiding, but you do have a height advantage as well. So if you do want to hide, go ahead and make a stealth check.
Yeah. So to that point, if I have a minute after I've finished, like fastening the thing to the thing, I was gonna offer to dig a hole for her to hide in, just like a small like 5x5 type hole. Especially if anybody has a shovel. Just so that she could have a place to like duck down into if we get into a fight here. Is that a thing I could do? Or are we on rocks?
It depends on how much time that you want to spend digging at this ground. It feels like grass and soil beneath, but you haven't necessarily tried the ground to see how deep, how how extensive it goes.
I think thinking about this and realizing that time might be of the essence, I instead pull out of my backpack, my fabulous backpack full of surprises. I pull out the ever smoking bottle
Hmm.
and I hand it to Mallory and I say, "If you need cover,"
Yes.
because it's a 60-foot radius, and you could just leave it open, and it'll open up. It'll get to a maximum radius of 120 feet, but a moderate wind will disperse it after 10 minutes. But
Okay.
if you leave it open, I think it'll just be like a trail of smoke off the top of the hill. Um, and you could hide at the periphery of the smoke, and just kind of duck in and out if you need to. This
All right.
is my thought. I don't know.
Cool.
Okay. So, given the circumstances, we're going to switch the music to 7.
It does take a minute, or it takes an action to open it, just so you know. Track 7. At dawn we plan. Very nice. I dig it. Okay. I think we'll just kind of like post up and wait for a while.
Okay. So you guys crouch
We're all trying to
down,
hide somewhere nearby, I think.
hiding somewhere. So if everybody wants to hide, make your stealth checks.
So the disadvantage for armor is because of noise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could I do it just normally because I'm not worried about noise? I'm just worried about
Yeah, because
visual.
I'll say because of the circumstance, you're trying to stay still. You expect to be far enough away that the sound probably shouldn't carry from just a slight ruckle. So yeah, flat roll.
Natural 20.
Nice.
19.
Okay.
I also got a natural 20, so.
Let's
Wow.
go.
All right then.
We stealthy as heck.
Yeah, forget the
I
smoke.
said I don't want to be seen. I just had to touch that grody meat.
Mm-hmm.
I do not want to be perceived.
Okay. So you guys wait. Still and silent. A noonday stakeout.
I think we'll give it maybe like 30 minutes tops
Okay.
because we're in a hurry.
You guys set down, hiding amongst the trees. There's every once in a while there's like an ant or an insect of some kind that kind of crawls its way in between some of your armor. You just kind of smash it, and we'll deal with that later. The sun, it's still pretty cloudy, so it feels really nice when the clouds come in front of the sun. But staying still for a long time when there's a break in the clouds with the sun hot on the back of your neck gets pretty warm, despite the ambient temperatures being pretty chill. After about 30 minutes or so of waiting, let's see. Mallory, I think you'd be the first one to spot a bit of movement. On the other side of the clearing, kind of coming down, you see a very large figure on all fours, just kind of slowly creeping down the side of the hill. It kind of stops for a minute. You see it lift its head. You can see a face and a mane of some kind.
Oof.
Wings that look reminiscent of a dragon's unfold from its back, and it jumps up and it glides down, and it alights upon the mossy rock that you can see down. And even that gives you a little bit more perspective of not only the size of the Manticore, but how big these boulders are. It has enough room to perch on top and to move around. And it kind of stops there, the wings fold. It kind of lifts its nose. You can see, now that it's a bit closer, its claws gripping and scratching the stone. even within the main itself, the sun catches glints of something solid and chitinous like spikes coming out of the main. And then the tail wraps around. And it looks like a lion's tail, except the kind of tuft of hair that on the end of a lion's tail is much larger and full of porcupine-like quills and spikes that just kind of come. And it stops there. And you can tell that it's caught wind of something.
It is coming.
Surprise attack it.
Yeah, is it close enough that I could try and shoot it from here?
What's your range? Because I think it's still like 250 or so feet away.
What is your range?
It's not
Short bow range max is 320 feet.
If you wanted to make an attack at disadvantage, there is a height difference too, so I'll say that this is probably within hitting distance.
I'm going to negate her disadvantage.
Yes! There we go.
Okay. Let me pull this up because I haven't used it in a while.
You
Okay.
see a little red dot sight like appear on the bow.
Amazing. Well done. The wisdom of age.
Okay, so since he negated my disadvantage, do I get advantage because the creature has not taken a turn in combat with Assassinate?
Shoot.
Because she's hit him.
Yeah, you do.
Dope. Okay.
Get him.
Super stealth. Super stealth.
Okay. What do I add? 5.
100.
19.
A 19 does hit.
It's a critical then.
Is it Brit?
If it's surprised, which I assume it is.
Yes, it is.
Crit sneak attack!
Good sneak attack.
This is what you were made for!
Yay! I
Man.
finally got to use it!
The synergy of Varys's ability with
That was
Assassinate
cool.
is on point.
Unreal. It's really good.
Alright. Let me
Dude, I'm sorry.
calculate.
That was awesome.
I can't wait to see how much damage this does.
Real good, real good.
One shots the Manticore.
Can you imagine?
Hey, it's not gonna be that good. Calm down.
You roll like 6 dice now, don't you? Or maybe 5?
I roll 8.
Oh, because crit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant like before doubling. But yeah, no, that's even better.
Okay, given the circumstances, we're going to track BO5.
Alright, here we go.
37.
Dang. Dude.
And that would kill me, so.
Wow.
I just killed myself, actually.
You said 37?
37.
Okay.
I think this fight is off to a good start.
So,
There were a lot of...
as it comes into view, you guys spend a few moments transfixed watching this beast, which looks pretty intimidating even from this distance. As you consider, oh, we're trying to get some spikes from that thing. All three of you, except for Mallory, Ilea, and Varys, all turn your heads at the same time toward Mallory, who is slowly and silently taking her bow, taking her arrow, pointing it at it, raising it just so, gauging with the wind, and the arrow is loosed, and you watch it. And you watch it, the speck flying down into the valley below toward this Manticore who's perched on top of this rock. and its head turns right as it is.
So
And you lose sight of the arrow, but you hear this this feral roar, and it kind of double in pain. Kind of looks over towards where it came from, and since you attacked it and hit, your position is revealed. It knows that you're there. So, after that first primal hit, let us begin.
initiative.
Everybody roll initiative.
Let's go. Not amazing.
Pretty
Not
decent.
bad.
Not gonna lie.
I got 10.
17.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay, Mallory.
20.
Jeez. Okay, Varys.
I rolled a 12.
17.
17.
Yeah, 17.
Ignatz.
10.
10. And then Ilea. Typical.
That's my guess.
Okay. So, due to the distances involved, we're still doing theater of the mind for this, but we are in combat mode currently. Mallory, your arrow found its mark inexplicably, and the Manticore knows that you are there, as you are kind of crouched on one knee above the arrows. You see the Manticore, its tail kind of come up around, and there, while it is bleeding, there's a roar of challenge accepted. It is your turn.
I guess I'll just shoot it again.
All right. So this one would be at disadvantage.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, shoot. Well, we'll see. 15?
A 15 hits.
Really?
Yeah.
Very nice.
I rolled a 10 and an 18. Seven whole damage.
7 whole damage.
Insult to injury.
Aha.
Incredible. Okay, are you staying put?
Yep, because I really don't have much else to do, so I'm gonna use my bonus action to do steady aim so that I get advantage on my next attack roll.
Awesome.
Nice.
Not moving. I remembered it!
You did.
So proud of myself.
And I was looking through Ilea's character sheet last night. I was like, oh, I gotta remember some of those features that she has.
Yeah, that reminds me. She's an SMR, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't she have like a fancy SMR racial feature
Let's her fly.
or something, right?
If she does, that's only at higher levels. I think. I don't remember
I
seeing
think it's
anything
like
about.
level 3.
It's like a celestial presence kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does have. Yeah, she should have that. I think.
Yeah, she gets to choose something at. Where is it? Level 3. Necrotic Shroud, Radiant Consumption, or Radiant Soul.
Right, yeah.
We can do that later if she survives.
Yeah. Okay, Varys, it's your go. After watching how far the arrow flew, yeah, this beast is pretty far away. But
All right, guys. You guys got this. So we'll leave you to that. I'm going to twin spell haste Mallory and Ignatz.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. Do not get hit.
Don't worry. I've got a plan for that
You
too.
could have the ever smoking bottle. We should remember that.
So Mallory is hasted. Who else? Ignatz?
Ignatz.
Is
Yeah.
this a touch spell?
No.
Okay. I don't remember.
And Varys is
It's 30 feet.
concentrating. We'll do that for concentrating. Okay.
He's burning with concentration.
The two of you feel another upkick of energy as the magic from Varys takes hold. Excellent. Okay. It is the Manticore's turn. The wings come out. And it begins flying upward.
Where is the Manticore?
And it begins flying up to within do the distance. Yeah, okay, so it's just going to spend its turn flying up toward where the arrow came from. It's kind of getting at a higher elevation, kind of flying up towards you. Not directly towards you, kind of at an angle, but you see it's flying. And seems to see at least Mallory. Maybe some of the others are now visible to you. You're not sure yet, but it is flying very quickly towards you. Okay, that's its turn. Ignatz.
Okay, how far away is it now?
Within 200.
In 200. Okay. I'm gonna use my. Let's see. I've had the pike just kind of stuck in the ground next to me, the one with the net on it, ready to go. But hands free, ready to draw a weapon. So I'm gonna draw my. Oh, but it can't see me yet. I suspect it probably hasn't spotted me yet.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, but I feel very well hidden. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna hold my action to throw my makeshift javelin net. No, I'm gonna do it now. So I'm gonna engage Giant's Might
Okay.
with the pike still stuck in the ground next to me. So you hear the Mario weep weep weep, and I get big. And they say let's go, and I pull the pike out of the ground next to me, and I will hold my action to throw the pike with the net at it, as if it were a javelin. And because I didn't have it on my person when I got larger, the pike is still pike-sized. The net is big enough to wrap up a large creature. I checked just like before growing with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna, if with your permission, I'll treat my pike as if it were a javelin, just with the stats of a javelin.
Sure. Yeah.
For the sake of throwing it. So javelin, I think you can throw 30 feet without disadvantage. That'd be. Dang it. Yeah, 30 feet. Okay, I'm gonna wait for it to get within 30 feet of me. and hold my action to throw the javelin and try to wrap it in the net,
Okay.
and maybe also hit it with the javelin. Or if it, yeah, I'm gonna hold my action to do that.
Excellent.
Okay, that's my turn. I'll also move over kind of closer to Mel. I'm imagining I'm staying within 30 feet of everyone else, if possible.
Okay. Good to know. For Ilea, she's going to do something to help the rest of you guys. Probably a bless. And up to 3 creatures, so she'll bless definitely Mallory. Yeah, that'll be blessed. We'll bless Varys. And she might bless her. Well, you've got ranged weapons too.
I do, yeah. If she upcasts, she could get all of us.
That's true. Richie. Yeah, she would have done that at second level, so she'll get everybody in the bless.
Sweet.
Okay, fix that. Everybody is blessed. Okay. Mallory, top of the round. You're hasted.
Ooh. I already forgot about that. Okay. It's still flying over, right? It's not.
Yeah, it's still flying in your direction.
Cool. Okay. Let's do this. Well, yeah. How close is it?
Within 200 feet.
Okay. Okay, so I did give myself advantage, so I would just get a flat roll now, right? Perfect.
Yes.
That's kind of what I'm looking for. Okay. So I will probably shoot it again. Yeah. So I'll shoot it first. 21.
Yeah, that hits.
Nice.
So another 4 damage.
Okay.
And then I'm hasted, so I'll just shoot it again at disadvantage. Because I don't think that... Yeah, it's just... Yeah. So I'll try one more time. Not with an 11.
An 11 will
But-
miss, yeah.
So I'll miss the second one. And then... I'm gonna do... I'll just... stay where I am, I guess, since it's still pretty far away.
Okay, so you're staying there?
Yeah.
Okay. Varys, your go.
Alright. The Manticore, how far away is the Manticore from us now?
Within 200 feet.
200 feet? Okay. I'm going to channel, this is harkening back a while ago to kind of flipping in and out and being a little bit more quote unquote stealthy. Okay, and I'm going to cast Blink on myself.
Is
Okay.
that concentration?
It is not concentration.
Good. I'm thinking blur.
Yeah, no.
Okay, that's good. That would suck.
So I will roll. And with an 11 or higher, I vanish. Do I get to add my bless to this?
It's only attacks and saving throws.
Well, just missed it. So, all right. Well, I guess I don't vanish.
So you do not vanish, but you have the spell going.
It is going.
Awesome.
So I'm just gonna take this time and I'm gonna back away from the others.
Stay
So that
close to me.
I'm gonna stay within 30 feet of Ignatz, but I'm gonna back behind him so that the Manticore has to go through them first.
Okay. You gather now that since spells have been cast and somebody has grown in size, that all four are now known to the Manticore. Manticore will do another roar and bellow. And you see kind of its claws and its teeth as it does so kind of begin to kind of glow with this ethereal light of some kind. And it's going to make 3 tail spike attacks.
Yep.
It's going to do 2 against Mallory and 1... 2 on Mallory because she's the one who's only done damage so far, and then 1 on Ignatz.
Okay, bring it.
So first 2 for Mallory. There's a miss, and a miss, and a miss. So it throws 3 spikes from its tail, which just kind of shoot out, and just kind of in a broad pattern. It's still too far away to do too much right now, but the spikes go flying and crash into the ground in the hill area, kind of in the areas around you. And then it's going to soar in a bit closer.
I'm gonna get a green dollar. Would you like one?
Ignatz, your turn.
Oh, there's kidding. Okay, it's still 200 feet away.
No, it flew in a little bit closer. A bit closer now.
Okay. Now it's how far?
150-ish.
Okay. The thing is taking its sweet time, so I'm gonna jab the javelin haft first into the dirt next to me, and pull out my longbow, and I'm going to take 3 shots at it.
Okay.
With my longbow. So, and that's with a D4, right? Because bless.
Yes.
Okay. I rolled poorly. That is 11 to hit.
That is a miss.
I think that misses, so I'll shoot again. Much better. 24 to hit.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Okay. And then this one, I'll add the Giant Smite damage. A longbow does a D8 of damage as well. That rolls for 6 damage on the longbow. And then 1 more attack from the haste. That'll hit as well. It's 11 plus 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll roll just the longbow damage. 4 more piercing damage.
4 more.
And I will bellow at it in my deep giant voice. I won't say anything in particular, I'm just making noise.
Mm-hmm.
As one does.
Okay.
Rawr.
Roar.
It's now Ilea's turn. She's doesn't have any cantrips in range or spells. Too far away for that. Yeah, Ilea can't really do anything right now, so she's just gonna sit tight and get ready for if it comes in closer.
Is she gonna hold an action or dodge?
She would take the dodge action.
Okay.
Okay. Mallory, it's your turn. You're starting to see the demeanor of the Manticore falter a little bit.
How close is it now?
It's around 150.
Okay.
Also, the spikes that it had, no longer glowing.
Okay. I'm gonna use my bonus action to do steady aim, because I'm looking at it now and realize that I read it wrong and you have to do it on the turn.
It's fine.
So that's my bad.
You
So I'm
gotta
gonna
do
use
it
it on this turn to do it on this. So to use steady aim, I have to use it on the turn. Then I get the advantage, and then I also can't move on that chunk. It's not I don't move, I use it, and then I get it on the next turn. It's the other way around. So I'll use that to just get rid of the disadvantage and just have a flat roll. A whole flat roll of 8.
Flies over the head of the Manticore.
It's getting closer, and somehow I'm getting worse. And I guess I'll just try again at disadvantage.
I mean, you were able to take your sweet time on that first shot.
It's true. With a 9,
Also,
I will miss again.
miss.
And that's it for me.
Okay. Varys, it's your turn.
Alright. How far out is the Manticore now?
150 feet.
150? Still too far from me. Wheel. Not a lot I can do. At this point, my range is pretty limited. You know what? I'm just gonna hold my action. For when it gets within 120 feet, I'm gonna shoot a firebolt at it.
Okay.
And I guess I'm gonna blink, so I might not even be here. Well, never mind, I rolled a 2, so I'm still there.
Amazing. Okay, it's the Manticore's turn. Okay. It comes in to within 120 feet. So your firebolt goes. You want to make your attack.
94.
Nice.
So it's gonna be 22, no, 23.
23 hits.
Lego. Nice. 11 fire damage.
Okay. 11 fire damage. So the firebolt hits it kind of across kind of the shoulder joint where the wing comes out. It kind of falters a little bit, roars. It comes in and then its wings flare out. And as it flares, it uses that extra momentum to shoot another volley of spikes that gets flung out in your direction. This time, it's going to shoot It's gonna shoot. It's gonna focus on Mallory and Varys, as they're the ones I've done. So 2 more on Mallory, 1 on Varys. So that is a 17 to hit.
Meets it, beats it.
Okay, yep. So you take.
Do I have to call Uncanny Dodge or after I hear the amount?
It's a reaction. It's a reaction to reduce the damage, right? That's what it does?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can uncannily dodge that after the attack roll.
Okay.
At least for this one. I'll double check that later. But
Okay.
that's 8.
I just got it, so I've never used it, so I need to look into it more.
It just says to have the attack's damage against you.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
You could probably wait till you know how much damage it is.
So 8 piercing plus 6 necrotic.
Rude. That's what we're here for, is potions of necrotic resistance.
It's true.
Also, make a Constitution saving throw.
13?
Okay.
Rip.
That is a success.
Oh.
Second attack from Mallory. That is a 1 less, so I think that's a miss. A 16.
16 misses.
Yeah, that's a miss.
Okay. And now for Varys. That is a 19 to hit.
Okay, I'm gonna throw up a shield.
Shield.
Ooh, yeah.
Very nice.
Um,
Well done. 19
Okay.
misses and shoot.
It does.
and
You get up to 20.
Yeah, I get 20.
after the Manticore flew in, it kind of flares its wings and begins moving to get out of range again.
Okay.
Ignat's your go.
So it has moved and it's now how far away?
It's now like 100 and... Oh, it's only like 105, so it's just outside, beyond 100 feet currently.
Okay, just outside of 100 feet. Okay. I'm going to call out... Is it a reaction to negate disadvantage?
Yeah, it's a reaction, but I just used my reaction
Yeah.
shield. So
Okay. I'm gonna 100 feet. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to run towards it. It's flying though, and I'm on the top of a hill,
Mm-hmm.
so I can't really get much closer.
No, not really.
So instead of running towards it, I'm gonna, yeah, forget it. I'm just gonna try. So I'm gonna pull the pike out of the ground with the net, and I'm gonna rear back and I'm just gonna chuck it at the thing to try to net it.
Okay.
The bar distance range on a javelin is 120 feet.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna roll with disadvantage. That's not bad. Plus I get D4. Plus 1, so 7, 8, plus 5 for a javelin. No, let me check. Javelin plus 8. 7, 8 plus 8 is 16 to hit.
16 does hit.
Okay. So depending on whether you let the net thing work with the javelin, this would make it restrained.
Okay. So, deal the damage for.
So
the...
should I roll damage for the pike?
Yeah, because you did manage to
Okay.
hit it.
Uh-huh. So I'll roll a d10 because it's a pike.
If you're gonna throw it as a javelin, though, I would say do the javelin damage.
Hit javelin damage?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Which is a d6. I'll add a d6 to it as well for the Giant's Might. So that's 5 plus javelin 7. 5 plus 7 is 12 piercing damage.
Okay, 12 damage.
As the pike javelin smacks into it.
And now to see if the net takes hold, go ahead, roll a d20 on a 15 or higher. Then your construction will have worked. Wait a second.
Can I add the bless?
This is just the chance of the die, so no.
Nope, that's a 6.
Okay, so unfortunately, it does unfold, and you get the idea that if you had enough more time and a bit more practice, this might be a tactic that you could develop and hone and refine in the future. It was a good trial run. The net kind of unfolds a little bit, but the weighting was a little bit off with the wind and the circumstances, the wings, just a whole confluence of factors that the net weights do impact, but doesn't engage enough to fully enwrap the Manticore, and the pike net combination plummets back down to the center of the valley.
Okay, I'll take a mental note of where that is. And now that my pike hand is free again, I will draw an arrow and knock an arrow and take a shot at it.
Go for it.
With the longbow. Which is gonna hit. Yeah, that's 17 plus 5.
Yeah, that hits.
And then I'll roll a d8 for the longbow damage. 6 damage. And then, yeah, I'll take another shot. Why not? Okay. Yeah, 16 plus 7 is 23 to hit. And then die. Nice. 7 piercing damage.
Okay.
Okay.
It's Aaliyah's turn. She's going to guiding bolt it.
Nice.
And she blessed herself. So I've been rolling my light up dice for Ilea because light.
That's
I love
amazing.
that.
Let's see, what's her spell attack? Bonus is wisdom. Oh! She's one off.
Again?
She rolled a 5, but she with the attack bonus and the bless, she got it to 14. But it's
Oh my gosh.
not enough.
What are we gonna do with her?
She's old and going through stuff.
Yeah, but she's missed by one, like, every single shot.
So frustrating. Okay, so a bolt of radiant light streaks past. The Manticore somehow saw it coming and did a barrel roll around it.
Good stuff.
Okay, Mallory, it's your turn.
Okay. We're still not close enough to be like, well, how far is it now, I guess? I just need to know when it's within 80, because then I stop getting my disadvantage.
Yeah, it's not within 80. It's around 105, 110.
Well, you know what they say, if it doesn't work, keep on trying. So I'm gonna do the same thing I did last.
Yep, that's what they say.
Yep, how'd you know?
Insanity.
A 13.
Nope.
Sweet, okay. And, okay, a 15.
Yes, a 15 just hits.
Yes, okay. 9 damage!
Okay.
Get him.
And that's it again.
Alright. Varys, your go.
Alright. Well, about how far is it now?
It hasn't moved from where Mallory was. 110 feet.
Alright, well, that's still within range to firebolt it.
Yep. You're close.
Plus, yeah.
But 19 would hit.
19, 20. So. Mas fire. Mas fuego.
Live Moss.
8 fire damage.
8 fire damage.
Can I find the glink? I can't find the glink.
So you bamf into the ethereal plane for a brief moment, right?
Yep.
And so you see the same landscape as you were, but all the colors are muted. And it's very kind of gray tones everywhere. You are concentrating on spells, and you look around your person, and you can see some of those ethereal cord-like strings extending outward from you, slightly vibrating and resonating. You're starting to recognize these things since you've been reading the book that your dwarven wizard patron has given you, and you're starting to understand that these chords that you see vibrating in this ethereal plane have something to do with magic and how magic is effectuated in the physical world.
That's legit.
That's legit. That's
cool.
That's legit. Okay, it's the Manticore's turn. It's turning around and it's going to fly 100 feet directly away from you. It's in pretty bad shape. And once it got a taste for how the fight was going, seems to have decided that it's not worth it, and is now actively flying away at the same height and elevation. So Ignat, it's your turn.
Okay, it flew 100 feet away?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna run down the hill towards it, just trying to get as close as I can. I can run 60 feet while hasted.
Uh-huh. Okay.
and if you dash, you
Just for
I
fun,
could.
make a dexterity saving throw with advantage.
Okay. Dex save with advantage 15.
Okay. So, running down like a hill can be really fun when you're doing it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't like trip and cartwheel and somersault the rest of your way down. But since you rolled pretty high and you're going down, I'll let you gain an extra 20 feet of movement just from the extra momentum of running down this hill.
Sick.
noise.
I'm bounding, like giant mode, like footsteps echoing through the canyon. Or the glade.
Incredible. Okay.
So 80 feet of movement. Because the angles are all weird, I'm not running straight towards it. How
Right.
much closer did I get? Like, how far is it now?
Let's see. It's probably, let's see.
It was about 110. It flew 100 feet away.
Mhm.
20 or 210, and then I run 80.
Yeah, and
Tangent.
because of the angle, I would say it's
Yeah.
probably at the same distance as it was at the end of its turn.
So I haven't gotten any closer.
No, but you've maintained pace.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fine. If I were to keep running, I sense. Do I get the sense that it would even out and I would start getting closer, or no?
Well,
Or is it
at,
pretty
at,
tall
at a
hill?
certain point, one of you is faster than the other.
Right.
And it's, I mean, you don't know where the Manticore is necessarily going to be flying, but it does seem very intent on flying just away currently.
With
if-
that,
If you can somehow run more than 100 feet, then you'd be able to start closing the distance, but otherwise the Manticore is flying faster than you are.
okay, I can do that, but so I guess how much hill before I start to level out? Because I want to get closer to it.
Yeah. It would level out probably if you did another... probably, because it's a big hill, there's still probably like another 150 feet or so before it really gets flat to the plane.
Okay, I'm gonna take 2 shots at disadvantage with the longbow.
Okay.
My disadvantage range is 600 feet.
Yeah.
I rolled bad. Oh, but I get the D4. Doesn't matter. I rolled a 1. Okay. Yeah. 3 plus 8 is 11. So I'll miss with that first one.
Mm-hmm.
Take another shot with the longbow. 12. Oh
Both
no,
miss.
hang on. I gotta roll the thing again. 13.
Both miss.
Both miss. Okay.
Mhm.
With my hasted action, I'm gonna dash and go another 30 feet closer.
Okay.
That's it. So I've run 110 feet. So I'm gaining on it just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Okay. It's Aaliyah's turn. It's really too far away at this point for her to really do anything about that.
Oh wait. Wait. My speed is doubled.
Yes.
Hasted, and if I dash, that
That's
double
also
speed
doubled.
tears over.
Yes.
So I actually go another 30 feet. So I've gained 40 feet on it.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just gonna keep track of how far away it is.
Okay.
So it was 210 minus 40. Okay. Cool. I almost got within striking range. Maybe next turn.
Aaliyah really can't do anything. The horses are tied up, so it's too far away for her to do anything. But top of the round, well, let's see. Mallory, you took some damage, didn't you?
A little bit, yeah.
You know what? She'll do the ASMR healing hands thing, just for good measure.
Yeah. Milk. Good call.
So-
Catch up to her with me.
He's also hasted.
Yeah, she's hasted and has the bonus action dash and an extra
Oh.
action dash.
I think you're back up
she
to
can get
full
full
health.
damage.
Wait,
Like good Jiro over here.
Let's see, how much damage did you take?
just 3 because I had the 10 hit points and I did Uncanny Dodge.
Right, the 10 hit points. Perfect. Yeah, so you're back to full health from Ilea.
Cool.
Okay, Varys. It's like 300 feet
Wait.
away from you. Or 200.
I was gonna say, is it, what about Mallory?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. That was Ilea's turn. So, Mallory, it's your turn.
I see how it is. It's still super far away, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's like 205, 210 feet.
Your
Woohoo, let's-
movement, Parker and I we were just talking. Your movement is insane.
Yeah. Yes.
So you could catch up with me and then just run right past me.
Possibly, yeah. Because if I... Yeah, maybe let's do that. So, I'll go... Oh boy. I'm gonna have to do the math on this. Okay, I'm gonna go the 60 and then use my bonus action.
This is your third round.
This was my third round.
No. This is the third round. Mallory.
This one we're starting?
After
Your turn.
will be the third round. So I did haste.
I held my action, and then I shot it 3 times, and then I ran after it, and I shot it.
I guess
twice.
it's been 3. Yeah.
So this next one will be my 4th round.
Yes.
Okay.
So am I like, to catch it, am I gonna be going down?
Yeah, you'd have to go down the hill
Okay.
to run.
We could get
And
closer
spend
though.
rounds.
Well, so I guess this
Yeah.
is my question then. And I don't know if Mallory would know this, but if I'm here and I'm shooting at it this way, and it's 200 feet, but I'm gonna try and go this way to get closer, am I really just getting farther away from it?
Depending on how fast you run.
I mean, I can go pretty fast.
Yeah. The running that I did I didn't get further away, but I also didn't get closer.
Because if I used my entire action to move,
Yeah.
I would get 60
Plus 60.
plus 60.
Plus 60
Plus-
if you bonus action.
Plus, you get an extra action, which you can use to dash while you're hasted.
So I could get 240 feet of movement.
You could move really fast. You could get not quite underneath the Manticore, but I'm going to have you roll probably a dexterity saving throw because you're running really fast with the aid of magic, but depending on how you roll the dexterity save, you might be able to get within your normal range increment.
Okay, so I might just do action dash and
Okay.
save my other action to try and shoot it if I get close enough.
Okay, so that's 180 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So if that's what you want to do, then just start.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Okay, yeah, make a dexterity saving throw.
Just like Terminator running straight towards it.
Oh wow, I add a lot to that. 25.
Ask a rogue, make a dex save.
You get an extra with that
Good
higher
advantage,
save. You
It's still
you get an extra 60 feet without even
Yeah.
without even having to take your action to do so. And with that roll, you're coming. The rest of you guys just see Malloy just tearing down the hill. Feet hardly even touching the ground, just kind of floating and flying over the ground. You get to within your first range increment on your longbow or your short bow.
Okay.
Mess him up.
Ah, it was so close. It was a 19. So 24.
That hits. Yep.
So he wants that sneak attack, though.
I know. 8 damage.
8 damage.
Manticore's like, whoa! If it wasn't scared before.
I'm really freaking it out now.
Okay. Because of the circumstances now, Mallory, you're like right about there. I'm gonna activate the map now.
You get credit for like half of each of our turns, so you know. Because I know, like, being the caster, it can be easy to be like, I didn't do anything but cast haste and hide.
I think Varys and Ilea are kind of technically off map still at this point.
That's okay.
The Manticore is flying like feet in the air. So Mallory is actually quite close. Or so. It's all, yeah. Okay. So it's Mallory's turn.
We're down in the clearing now.
Okay. Where are the horses?
You guys tied them back by the hill.
How far from us?
Not far. We decided to keep him pretty close by in case the Manticore went for him.
Yeah, but like 30 feet? 60 feet?
Enough where it would take all of your movement and your action to get to the horses and untie them.
Yeah, all of my movement and my action, correct? To do that.
Mm-hmm.
But once I do that, and I get on the horse, does the horse get a turn to move with me?
It requires movement on your part to get into the saddle.
So the horse could run away without you, is what he's saying.
Okay, so the part of the action doesn't include getting up on the horse.
No, that's just you getting there, untying the horse, getting everything ready.
Never mind that. Then I will do something else. So it's about 200 feet away from me for the
Correct.
moment.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's looking not good, correct?
Yeah, it's in pretty bad shape.
Okay.
I should have picked you up and brought you with me.
That's okay. Because the range on fireball is 150 feet.
That's true. Its radius says
20 feet. Yeah. So Mallory's still outside of the range of it.
right.
So,
But
all right.
The issue we've been running into is as we run towards it, we don't actually get closer because we go down the hill.
I'm aware.
Okay.
I'm about to do something real crazy. All right. So, I would like to.
Well, first of all, you
I would
blink
like to use
back.
my
Into,
movement.
you blink back into existence.
Yeah, I blink back. I want to blink back 10 feet closer because I can do that.
Uh huh.
Nice.
So I'll start 10 feet closer already. Okay. I'm going to use my movement. I'm going to run. I'll run 30 feet down the hill. Okay. But I only want to run, a good 20 feet of that to get momentum. And then I'm going to jump with the remaining 10 feet because I need that 10 feet to do my jump. And then I'm going to misty step 30 feet further. So I'm going to fall after I do this. But now I'm within the 150-foot range to throw a fireball as I'm in the air.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do for this, Parker.
Okay. So
We're not gonna do an athletics check. We're not gonna do a skill check for this.
Yes, but I can do that. Because I can do my.
We're going to. Let's actually. Let me think about this.
Is it mad magic?
Yeah, magic.
I want you to roll. No, we are going to do an athletics check, but we're going to roll with emphasis.
Okay.
So you roll 3 dice?
You roll 2
How does that
dice,
work?
and you take the one that's furthest away from 10.
Okay.
Okay. So first roll. We got a 2. Uh-oh.
So you have to roll a natural 20.
No, that was a 10.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Alright. So, wait. Okay, never mind.
Do you
So-
have inspiration?
It's not gonna look very cool. I'm gonna face
So
plant.
Varys begins running. Takes a jump. Poof, disappears. Appears. Lets loose the fireball, because you are within range of the fireball.
Yes.
And then looks down and goes, "Oh no!" And face plants and slides and tumbles another 10 feet. Yeah. You take not too bad, but it's 7 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall.
Yeah, fair enough.
And you can just barely see the flash of light from the fireball as you're tumbling. Unfortunately, you didn't get to see it yourself as you were so preoccupied with gravity asserting dominance.
Does that?
But go ahead and roll damage for fireball.
Okay. It's how many d6?
It's 8.
8d6. Okay. You got 4 right
The
there.
Manticore succeeds on the dex save.
Darn.
Rude. How dare? How dare he?
All right.
Who even really? Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna do the math for you.
10, 20.
Oh, you're doing it?
Yeah. 29, 31.
I got a calculator for Christmas. Gonna just
31.
31 damage. Ooh. So Mallory, right after you shoot the arrow, a second later, you see this little bead, almost like a streak of light, come out and just
I got 31 for the roll too.
a bright ball of fire erupt You're far enough that it doesn't hurt you, but you can still feel kind of the residual heat. There's kind of a blast of hot air that kind of ruffles your cloak and whatnot. And you see the Manticore kind of spiral. Its wings get back to equilibrium. And it's not looking good. You hear another growl in pain. Parts of its mane kind of have embers burning in it. Yeah, it's not looking very hot at all.
And I succeeded on my concentration check, by the way.
Very
Okay,
nice.
good. Managed to keep a hold on that.
And now for my blink. Wow. Nope, 2. No,
Still here.
still here.
Sorry, that's so tilted.
It's it's all like wobbly. It's all right.
Weird, like, look at the base of it. The carpet.
That is what it is.
It's
It's a little better. Yeah. Anyway, all right.
All right. We'll see the dam and Mr. Manticore.
Okay, that's the end of your turn.
Yeah, that's it.
The Manticore bellows out in panic. And just lets out just another massive roar that kind of echoes through the empty kind of treeless expanse. And it's going to spike 3 tail spikes at you, Mallory.
Ooh.
Yay.
There's a 13 on the first one.
Uh-huh.
Oh, first I need to see. Okay. That is a 19 on the second.
Yeah, that'll hit.
You take 10 points of piercing damage, plus another 6 points of necrotic damage.
Can you uncanny dodge every turn?
I can react once a round, so yes, I can.
It's just a reaction. Okay.
Yeah.
And
So I am-
you also need to make a Constitution saving throw.
I'll have that. Because I don't want to die.
Uncanny dodge is an awesome
Is-
ability.
Is Bless still up?
Bless is still going, yes.
Okay, beautiful.
Oh yeah, you got a D4 on your concentration check too.
Uh,
I mean, you passed
It-
it.
Yeah, I passed it already. So
Yeah.
15.
15? Okay, that's a success.
Woohoo!
And then the third tail spike is an 18.
Ugh.
So that's 6 piercing and 4 necrotic. And another Constitution saving throw.
In danger. But it's okay. I'm gonna be fine. Ooh, oh, okay. 13.
Okay, you just succeed.
I am like, I know, I'm like scraping by on these constitution saves.
Um,
D4 is
Great.
every time.
And then he's going to fly 50 feet.
Goodbye.
Alright, Ignatz.
Egnuts is gonna run like the wind. 60 feet would get me here.
I guess
My extra action run would get me here. And it's 100 feet up?
Yeah, give or take.
Okay. I'm gonna run to right here. That wasn't the move thing. Hang on. Right here is right below
So,
the trees.
At this point, I am also going to remind. It is not looking in very good shape.
Uh-huh.
What you heard from Ilea about what Herrick wanted was a claw or a spike that was magically enhanced.
Okay.
You also would recall that Manticore's, well, that's the important thing here is, well, you just need tail spikes from it. You need one that needs to be magically enhanced. It's not absolutely necessary to kill it.
Right. So we need magically enhanced tail spikes. Were there any of those that it shot at us that retained their magic?
When it was shot,
Yeah, I feel like 5 of them thrown at me.
there's only one time that you saw where it was enhanced, and the spike lost its magic pretty quickly. But what he said was he didn't want a magically enhanced spike. He wanted a magically enhanced claw or tooth somehow.
Okay. All right. And it doesn't look like it's enhanced at the moment, right?
No, you only saw it, and it was only illuminated for like 6 seconds.
We gotta knock it out with a rock or something.
I'm going to run up to here, and I'm going to hold my action to shoot 2 arrows with a called shot towards the mouth to try to knock out a tooth if it magically enhances.
Okay.
Well, it's within range of me here.
So I meant to inform you how I want to do called shots going forward. For a called shot, to do the effect that you're saying, is 5 higher than its normal armor class. But if you still hit the normal armor class, but you don't hit the extra 5, it'll still be just a normal damage, a normal attack.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Works for me.
Okay. So you're going a called shot for the mouth?
Yeah. When it gets magically enhanced, I'm going to take out a tooth if I can.
Okay.
And I got 2 shots on a held action.
On a held action. Excellent. Okay, Ilea will just start running down the mountain to try to join the fray. Actually gets about 2/3 of the way down with a good roll from her.
Nice.
And we're now back to Mallory.
Okay. Why will my map not zoom in? Can find everyone but myself. I found myself. Okay. I'm gonna run up this way. 30, 35, 40, 45. Yeah, that works. How far am I from it?
You are 110 feet on the ground away from below it.
Because, well, we probably need to try and knock it down, don't we?
We can't really do non-lethal attacks at range.
Ah.
Yeah.
Even if I threw like a hammer at it to try and knock it out.
I was thinking, I don't know, can manticores talk? We might just tell it to try to convince it to surrender.
Give us a tooth.
Yeah.
Or you die.
Submit now and we will let you live. I don't know if they can talk.
I don't know. I have no idea. don't really know what to do. So, whether or not this be the smartest move, I'm going to hold my action to throw my hammer at its head to try and knock it out, should it get any closer to the ground. That is exactly what I'm doing.
Okay.
That is my exact held action. Hammer.
So the internal dialogue results in Mallory putting away her bow and pulling out a hammer.
Yep.
Kind of looks to Ignatz, and he just kind of...
I'm like, I guess, I don't,
Oh, is that you next to me?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. You look at me and I'm just like,
Are you big right now?
oh yeah.
Cause if it gets closer, you could pick me up and I could throw the hammer from there.
I could throw you at it.
That's true.
100 feet up though.
You could just throw me at it. We'll come back to that next round.
Throw me, Bob. Throw me.
God, throw me.
All right.
Yeah, no, really.
Varys.
All right. Well, is this actually a river?
It's more just like a stream. You can easily
so
splash through it. Yeah, no cost.
Okay. Actually, how far? I guess I blinked back in. Wait, how far was I? I was over there. That's 35 feet, so I should be... I guess I should be in the stream, shouldn't I? Because I rolled 10 more feet.
Oh wait, so you blinked after your fall?
What?
You blinked
Yes,
after
I
your
fell.
Incredible.
Oh. And then...
So you would have been prone when you blinked out, just so you know.
So, when I blink back in, am I still prone, but like 10 feet further?
I mean, you can move with your blink.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Can I blink like 10 feet further but still be prone?
Yeah. So you know what? For fun, do a spellcasting check.
Alright. 13 plus my spellcasting
Okay.
modifier?
Yeah, you're fine. So you recover from prone by virtue of the blink.
That's sick.
You do not blink face down into shallow water and drench yourself.
Nice. Alright, well, I'll just get up and I'll start running. I'm just gonna use my action to dash. I guess I kind of get near them, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, how far away am I from this guy? 25, 30. Ah, he's just barely out of my range.
He's also 100 feet up, so...
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. So 25 feet plus 100 feet. Wait,
How did you catch up to those?
blink, dash, roll.
10 feet.
Well, on the previous turn, remember, I
Oh, you
ran,
Misty stepped,
jumped,
too.
misty stepped, fell, rolled, blinked. And then this turn I dashed.
Okay.
So are we using the diagonal? Are we using the hypotenuse of the triangle?
Hypotenuse, yeah.
Okay.
Also
one second,
known as
I'm
the diagonal.
Okay. So technically, he's 105 feet to my diagonal. Like from the hypotenuse is 105 feet. So he is within range of a firebolt, but okay. I want to try something here, Connor.
Okay.
I don't know if you'll allow me to do this, but he's got wings, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Can I make a cold shot to shoot the firebolt through the wing so that he kind of like falls in his descent?
Okay, yeah, called shot. Let's try it. You need
Alright.
a total of 20 or higher.
Come on, baby. Come on.
That's a 19.
Ooh,
Plus 120 for a total of 28.
perfect.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, so
Nice shot.
with the called shot too of this nature, since you managed to successfully do it, you can choose to apply the damage or just have the effect.
I just want the effect. I want his flight to be limited and have him like be falling a little bit.
Yeah. So he immediately loses. Let's see. He immediately falls to 50 feet or so, and his flying speed is reduced, and he can't gain altitude.
Nice.
As a firebolt sears a hole through the one wing, he starts flapping, but he's not getting the lift that he used to, and begins kind of like spiraling down. Okay, it's the Manticore's turn. Yeah, he's really scared, really upset. He's still focusing on Varys and Mallory because they're the ones
Oh
that
wait,
have
I forgot to roll my blink.
That's
done
most.
most damage.
I do blink. So
Cyrus is gone.
So Varys
Watch.
watch.
disappears. Incredible. Okay. At this point, the spikes on the Manticore do begin to glow again. Its teeth and its spikes and its claws, which I believe was the trigger for Ignatz.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna take one at a time. Start with the first called shot. Not amazing. Yeah, I think I'd miss with a 12.
Yeah, that's a total miss.
Okay.
And also, keep in mind that if you hit a 15 or higher, but you don't get to the 20 threshold, the damage happens. You can't choose to withhold that damage.
Okay.
It's only if you succeed
Yeah.
on the called shot.
Yeah, with that in mind, I'm gonna forego the second called shot.
Okay. And what you've seen before, the other problem, though, is they're not going to be glowing at the end of his turn. So you've got a choice here.
I think it's too risky. I'm gonna wait.
Okay. So, 2 more on Mallory, 1 on Ignatz. That's a natural 19 on the first hit for Mallory. That is 10 points of piercing and 5 points necrotic.
Oh yeah, never mind.
Also,
I'm gonna.
you're gonna have it?
Yeah, I'm gonna have
Okay.
it.
You also need to do a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, this one was good. I'll just keep that. 20.
Okay, success.
Dirty 20.
Second hit.
It was 15 total, so half of 15.
Rounding down, 7.
So,
Yep.
7.
Second spike
I'm looking for that.
is a 20 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
I used my reaction, unfortunately.
Okay.
5,
Carry
6,
my dead body.
8 points of piercing and only 1 of necrotic, but another Constitution saving.
I'm looking real bad. But I make that save with a 14.
Okay. And then this
Thanks,
spike is going for Ignatz. Natural 2. Oh, they were glowing too, weren't they?
Oh shoot,
They were.
So on the first one that hit you, Mallory, okay, is another, and I'll have it too since you did the dodge. 1 point of thunder damage,
Okay.
and then on the second one, It was 4 points cold damage.
Good night.
You
I
out?
am-
Out.
I am not currently alive.
Dang it.
Okay, so Mallory drops unconscious.
I had 3 hit points left.
No.
And the Manticore flies another... Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move everybody back.
Amazing. Scoot!
And Manticore is going to fly another 50 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And he loses 10 feet. Oh, he can't fly 50.
No.
He gets to there. And he's at 40 feet up now.
Oh, he's losing altitude?
Yeah.
Put a hole in his wing. So
Yeah.
Okay. That's its turn. Ignatz, it's your go.
I have to check something real quick.
Oops. What did that?
Okay. So he's 40 feet in the air. Okay. I did math earlier. Give me just a second. Oh.
science rules.
Okay.
Math.
I've got to keep pace with him. I look back. Varys is there, right?
I am there.
Okay.
I'm not too far from you. I don't know where my character went, but
Where did your character go? Oh, he's invisible. He's right here.
These things have Varys. Okay. Oh, he's in the tree. Okay.
I can't click on him.
I look to Varys and I say, "Have you got Mel?" Okay. When you do that, and I kind of like take a glance down at Mel, and I'm like, "You gotta hang in there." And I run towards the Manticore. There's a rock here, to the side of me. How tall is that?
That's only like 2 or 3 feet.
Okay. In that case, well, I guess we also like moved everything. I'm gonna run towards the Manticore. And as I run, I pull out my net. Let me measure things out real quick. So, like so. Okay, easy enough. I can run up to it. I pull out my net, and when I get practically under it, I do a running high jump.
Mm-hmm.
Which, with Giant's Might engaged, I am like an extra something feet tall, so I can jump like 8 feet in the air with a running start because of my strength.
Mm-hmm.
And my reach is 17 feet because I can reach like half my height above myself. So at 17 feet, wait, that's still not close enough. No, that's not quite close enough. Yeah, I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna run just directly under it, and I'm just gonna like Hail Mary jump and just try to grab it. I know it's too high. I'm gonna try anyway. And because I'm in Giant's form, it's like a 20-foot reach or something. So I like sail into the air and I miss and I land
Mm-hmm.
a little bit past it.
Just out of
it-
reach.
It's part of movement. Oh, but to try to grab it would have been. Well, I did it for flavor, so what I wanted to do was hold my action to try to net it if it got within 15 feet.
Okay, sure.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Ilea,
At the moment.
right underneath it. Oh, perfect. Ilea is just going. She's like 250 feet behind the rest of you, so she's just trying to catch up at this point. Just spends her movement getting 60 feet closer. Top of the round, Mallory.
Do you want me to roll and text you?
Yeah, you can do that.
I'll message you on Discord.
You got healing potions. You got healing potions for days.
Not only that, I have the ring of spell storage
Oh, with bless or
with
cure wounds.
cure wounds in it.
There
So
you go. Even better. Okay. It's a good thing you.
Okay, I sent it to you.
Perfect. Okay, Varys.
okay, I'm going to run up to Mallory, and I'm going to pull out the ring of spell storage, which has a level 2 cure wounds in it.
So you blink into existence. 10 feet away.
10 feet closer.
Yep.
Yep, and then I will pull out. I guess it's a necklace of spell storage. Sorry, the necklace of spell storage,
Pulls out his prayer beads and he goes, ah!
which has a level 2 cure wounds, which I believe is
2d8 plus 2.
2d8 plus 2.
Because it's her.
Yes. Maybe 8. Alright, you get 8. Nice. And 5, so that's what? 13 plus 2, 15?
Woo!
Yep, 15.
I just really want to use this.
The ring of spell storing. The necklace of spell storing.
I live.
Make Mallory all better.
No longer
So now that you're
unconscious.
feeling.
Good thing too. I failed that first save.
Oh boy.
Oh, so now that you're feeling better, I'm gonna start running to keep up. Okay. Oh, I'll help pick her up too. Pick her up off the ground.
Okay.
I don't know if that would be my action or bonus action.
I'll say that will require half your movement.
Half my movement.
Yeah.
Well, never mind. You're hasted, Mallory, so you should be able to get up and move and be just fine. I still need...
She might want to hang back.
Alright, and I do blink out of existence again.
Okay. Okay. It's the Manticore's turn, who's getting increasingly desperate. 3 tail spikes coming to Ignatz.
Let's go.
That is a 21 on the first.
Means it beats it.
Okay.
Put my shield away, but I'm hasted, so it is currently 21.
So you take 10 points piercing and 4 points of necrotic.
How much?
10 points piercing, 4 points necrotic.
Okay.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
20.
Success. Second strike. That is a 18 to hit.
That's a miss.
That's a miss. And third one is a 21.
That's another hit.
You take another 10 piercing and 6 necrotic. And you make another Constitution saving throw.
We're gonna find out. I rolled a natural 1.
Oh boy.
Okay. So, I think that means I need you to roll a d8 for me.
1.
Okay. Let's see here.
Wow.
A 1.
You just cut me in half.
Okay. Good to know. Found out what happens on your turn.
Okay.
But there's the first two come, they hit, they find purchase across your face, And when the second one hits, you feel like an odd, disorienting feeling in your stomach, almost like you're gonna be sick, but it's kind of everywhere throughout your body. It's really unnerving feeling. And it is your turn. So,
It is.
on your turn, roll a d8 again.
Again?
Yep.
Okay. 3.
3. So you just spend all of your movement going to the right. You spend your turn just moving out from underneath the Manticore.
My full movement?
Yeah, it's just your base movement. Let me double check actually. It says all its movement does not take an action this turn, so you just move your base speed, and that's your turn.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
Could be like that when you get poisoned.
And then you kind of shake yourself, and you're like, what am I doing? And you look back, and you see the Manticore is no longer above you, and in fact it's behind you, and you're like, oh, what?
That's annoying.
Ilea gets in closer, so she's now like 150 feet away, which I think is still too far for anything for her to do. Yeah, so hopefully next turn she'll be able to get back in. Mallory, it's back to you. Oh wait, the Manticore would have moved. Let me do the Manticore's movement. And he's still just gliding down. I said 30. Come on. There it goes. Okay.
How big is this rock right here, like to my diagonal left?
It's only like a few feet high.
That's the same question.
But I could like go crouch behind it.
Yeah, if you crouched, you'd be able to get behind it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get up, and then I'm gonna go crouch behind it, and hold. I'm gonna swap out the hammer for the bow again, and hold my action to shoot it because I realize we're not trying to kill it. But if it starts looking like it's gonna kill someone else, then I'm not taking any chances.
Okay. Varys, you blink back into existence.
10 feet closer again.
Whoop.
Another river.
Another one.
Another
Okay.
one.
I feel like I've already crossed this stream once.
The Manticore is probably within range of me, and it's looking bad, right?
Yeah, it's in very bad shape. The hole in its wing is getting bigger. It is still kind of singeing. It's still singed on its mane from the fireball you exploded on it earlier. Yeah, it's in bad shape.
I might be able to restrain it next turn.
I'm gonna cast sleep on it.
Nice.
Ooh.
Even
Okay.
better.
Even better. So yeah, I'm gonna hit it with a sleep. Up right there.
Ooh.
24.
Yeah. It falls asleep. 30 feet up and begins careening toward the ground.
Oh dear.
I didn't really think about that part.
Oof.
No way.
Did it survive?
It crashes to the ground in a heap. It's kind of landed on one of its wings. The one wing is up. It's on its side. The tail kind of slides overhead, and it kind of slides in the mud a good feet. Unconscious. I guess it would like wake up because it
When
took
it takes the
damage,
damage.
but I like the thematic element of it still being asleep because it was really low on health, and it is at 1 hit point.
Oh my gosh. Dang boy.
4,
So, Varys,
6. I can run right up to it,
you can.
and I might blink out of existence, though. I do not. I'm still there.
Okay.
Timely.
The Manticore stays asleep until awoken, right?
Yep.
Or,
Yeah,
For a minute.
or a minute.
for a minute, yeah.
Okay. Ignatz.
It's not concentration, is it?
No, it's not concentration.
Alright. Ignatz shakes himself out of the stupor, looks and sees that Mallory is back on her feet. Well, actually, probably can't see her because she's behind the rock and so sneaky.
So,
So
super sneak.
I'm gonna run over to the Manticore, like so. And I'm gonna just like kneel down next to it and gingerly lift up like part of its upper lip and look at the teeth.
Uh-huh.
Are they glowing?
They're not glowing.
They're not glowing. Okay. In that case, I will take out my net and toss it gently over top of the Manticore to restrain him.
Incredible.
Would you like me to make an attack roll?
No, unnecessary at this point.
Okay. So he is restrained, and I'm going to sit on him
Okay.
to grapple him as my other attack, if you will.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Okay.
No, I'll like reach out and like grab the tail
Uh-huh.
as well, and just like hold it and point it just kind of like downrange, you know,
Okay.
away
Yeah.
from anybody else.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay. Ilea is now like 90 feet. She's close to Mallory. She'll do a healing word for Mallory
Nice.
You're up.
just to get you a little something. And that's a 1 on the die, so 3 points of healing.
Well, you know what? It's something.
It's something.
It's something.
She's like, feel better.
Yep. Okay.
The word wasn't that reassuring, but it was a word.
The word was, suck it up.
For this
Rub some dirt on
circumstance
it.
now, I want to switch the music to... let's do 15. Okay. Mallory, it's your turn.
Am I still hasted or is that over?
Still
It's
going.
over. Not next turn, but the turn after it's over. So you got 2 turns left.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're on round
I think-
round 9 right now.
Because
Of
So I
combat.
guess I'm gonna go try and catch up. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Is the water deep?
So the map has kind of lost accuracy as we've been moving northward.
Oh, okay.
There's just a general there's like puddles and stuff. Most of the stuff on here isn't enough to obstruct anything.
So I get there with my 60. Can I do anything to help?
You see its tail with its spikes right there.
Alright, let's do it. If I pull out my hammer. Just kidding.
I mean, you came here for spikes, and the tail's there, so...
True.
You can shoot him out, so it's not going to hurt it to take the spikes, right? Hopefully.
Hopefully.
It might hurt
I-
us to take.
Let's see. Okay, when you get to the tail, there's probably a little more than half of the spikes have been jettisoned from the
How many
tail.
do we need?
You need 12 to make 1 potion. And it looks like there are 9 left on the tail.
Are there any sticking out of my legs?
There are, but they're kind of broken and shattered.
Dang.
There might be a few that missed an attack that hit soft ground that might still be viable. You just have to remember where they landed and probably spend some time looking for them.
Okay, well, I'll do that next. In my many times of pulling out Manticore spikes, would I think that my I have a lot of options for things I could use. Do I think I could just pull them out with my hands? Do I think that it would be best to pull out my crowbar? Do I think that my
Sure.
something in my thief toolkit would help me?
Since you're right up there and you can kind of inspect what the spines look like, go ahead and make a nature check. DC 12.
What do I have? Ooh, 14.
Okay. The spikes, the spines that come out, look solid. They're rounded and they come to a point. Each one's probably about a foot long or more.
That's gnarly.
They but they're not just solid spikes. You can kind of see really close is that there's kind of a jagged like sawtooth pattern to it, like almost like a porcupine's quill, where like if you brushed your hand one way it'd be smooth, but if you brushed your hand against it the other way you'd probably draw blood.
It would suck, yeah.
And get poisoned and run off in a random direction.
Ooh.
Okay, well, I guess let's start trying to get him out.
With just like your gloves or whatever.
I'm gonna try that at first, yeah, because I had a good enough roll to realize that if I yank him one way, I should be fine.
Okay, yeah.
I'm afraid anything else might just break them.
Okay. Make a... Let's see, for this, make a dexterity check.
Woohoo.
And I said I was sitting on him, so I'm gonna go over here.
17.
Okay. You managed to pull one of them out without causing any damage to your gloves or anything. It's delicate enough that you couldn't go get more, but you successfully remove one tail spike, and it actually comes out of the tail relatively easy. It's kind of like when you're weeding and you pull a weed out by the roots.
Oh, gotcha.
That's kind of how it feels.
Yes, that's fine. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. There's a little bit of give.
So was that one action?
Yeah, that was your action.
Okay. And I probably can't use, because the haste action has specific things that it does.
Right.
So I probably can't use that.
Yeah, probably not, because you're trying to be delicate here. So for the intentions of this, we're going to ignore the initiative count order, because the Manticore doesn't have to make any repeat saves. Eventually, Ilea catches up to you. You guys have just under a minute before the Manticore wakes up again.
Okay. I think Ignatz at some point says, okay, I think this is what we should do. We should, and then just like passes out for a full round. And then wakes back up, like simultaneously with Mallory.
Yep. So one round goes by. Ilea catches up to you, kind of sees the circumstance, and says, who basically says, well, those of you who are more equipped to kind of handle the tail seem to already be in charge of that. But Ilea will just be doing guidance.
Okay.
Over and over again to help and aid with the extraction of tail spikes.
Okay. But we need this thing to wake up and charge its teeth.
Does anybody know if these things can talk?
Nope. Not a clue.
Would anybody who might know like to make a check?
I think it was Mallory who did some research when looking for manticores. Most of them are capable of some kind of speech, but the other thing is you're not sure that this particular manticore necessarily follows the same blueprint as given, because it's doing stuff with its tail spikes that weren't specified in the information that you recovered. So it's possible
Gotcha.
it might be able to speak, or it might be something a little bit different. You don't know.
Okay, I'll pass
immediately.
that on to you guys.
I say we try to speak to it first. Okay. If that doesn't work, we aggravate it a little bit, enough to get it to try and make an attack. Once its teeth glow, then Mallory can smash it out with a hammer. Sound good?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Hammer back out.
You got about 45 seconds.
Okay.
So, here's what I'm thinking. You
Do we
on
want
top of
to?
it, you pin down. Mallory, you stand by the side of its face. I will also stand next to it so I can talk to it. Okay, if it can speak. And then if that doesn't go well, the key word is crowbar. Okay. As soon as I
Can
say
I?
crowbar, we go.
30 seconds.
Okay.
Can I make a
Okay.
couple more rolls to see if I can get some more tail spikes out since I
Yep.
got one out and around?
Yeah. Make some more dexterity checks with a D4 for guidance.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that last time.
Yeah. I will, while she's doing that, I'm going to pull out my rope, which I have, right?
How many do you want me to make, Connor?
You can make 5.
I will make them and put them in the chat so
Okay.
you can talk to Jared while I do this.
I will pull out my rope and I will take its limp tail and wind it and just like tie it with the rope to one of its hind legs, so it can just point it wherever it wants to.
Okay.
And then just before it wakes up, what I want to do is I want to sit on it, kind of where the shoulders are, and then I'm going to hold my action to do one of two things. If it somehow gets free, I'm going to grapple it again. No, I'm gonna take attacks to incapacitate. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
And if it does not get free, I'm going to do the help action to help Mallory get the teeth if it glows by reaching into its mouth and prying its mouth open with my gauntleted hands.
Okay. So Mallory, you do pull 5 more out, but on the last one, you take 3 points of necrotic damage from
What?
brushing against the quill, and make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no. You got this. Don't be like me.
21.
Okay, so
Nice.
you're fine.
So
Bless.
I got 5 more.
The bless has worn off as well by now.
Okay.
So I got 5 more.
Yeah. So 6 quills total. 6 tail
Cool.
spikes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm small again, but I'll use another giant smite.
Okay. So you can just keep that going.
Yeah.
Right as Mallory kind of goes with the last tail spike, the Manticore begins to stir again. Takes in a deep breath, and it's still haggard. Like the hole in its wing is pretty extensive. By the time it crashes, it tries to roll over, and eventually awareness comes to it, and it kind of struggles for a little bit, but you maintain hold, and it just stays motionless.
Can I speak to it?
What do you say?
I'm gonna say, hey, you're in a pickle. We can make a deal though, and you can walk away from this.
I'm gonna kind of like kind of hush you down a little bit and be like, maybe let's not threaten him right now about this.
Well, I think he feels threatened.
Yes, but let's not. Okay.
The Manticore.
We don't.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna say to the Manticore, I don't know if you understand us, but we don't seek your life. We don't want to kill you, and we would love to let you go, and we'll even do a little patchwork before we do so. Okay? All we need from you is one of your magic-infused teeth. If you can give that to us, we'll heal you up and send you on your way.
Roll a persuasion check. I'm going to put the DC on this one because of circumstances at... Let's put it at a 17.
Oh, that's just fine. Because I rolled a 16 plus 4 is 20 plus so 28.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
The fact that it's still alive and you haven't killed it yet gives credence to what you're saying. And you hear this guttural voice from the Manticore says, "To the victor go the spoils." And it be the spikes on its mane and its claws and the remaining spikes still attached to the tail glow.
Okay.
Yeah. Ignatz, would you be so kind?
Yeah, Ignatz is feeling bad now because it's a sentient creature. So he reaches down into its mouth and is like looking for a tooth that doesn't look like its favorite tooth, right? Because it's got like a bunch, and there's some that are sharper, and maybe there's one that's like.
Which,
a
when
little
you
more
get in
round.
close, there's actually like 3 rows of teeth.
Oh,
There's
he's got plenty of teeth.
There's a lot.
Okay. Well, I reach down in there and I will just grab one of the teeth with a hand and just try to yank it out in one fluid motion.
Okay. Yeah, make a strength check.
Just straight strength is a 15.
Okay.
Oh, plus guidance or no?
Sure, Ilea. Well, why not?
Okay. Plus 3 is 18.
Okay. These teeth are sharp. They look like shark teeth, kind of a thing going on. You do take a little bit of damage just because of the sharpness of it. So I'll say just 4 points of slashing from that. But while it's and it's glowing too. Plus another
20.
3 points of fire damage.
Oh, but halved because I'm fire genasi,
Yep.
so just 1 then, right?
But you do pull 1 manticore tooth glowing in your hands.
I hold it up and I watch it. Does it keep glowing for a while?
It fades after about 5 seconds.
What? I look at the others. Is this gonna work?
It's been infused with your magic, is that correct? I look at the Manticore.
It furrows his brow at you and it's like, it was glowing when you pulled it.
Great.
Okay.
That would probably do it, right?
Then I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay.
I toss it to Varys.
We'll put it in the bag.
I say, Ilea, I think the deal is to patch its wing and.
Ilea, would you be so kind as to heal our new friend?
Yeah. She'll go up to the wing specifically and dump a cure wounds into it. And heal it up for, wow, crappy rolls all around. 4 points to the Manticore. And the wing kind of heals up a little bit. It's going to take some time to regrow and regenerate tissue like that. But
Is he feeling a bit better now?
it's feeling a little bit better. He's now at 5 hit points out of his 164 hit point max.
Amazing. Okay, Ignatz will pull out his shield, stowing the other weapons that he had going, and pull out a hand axe, and with the shield arm, reach down and just kind of like disentangle the manticore from the net.
It still has
And
tail
then-
spikes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mallory, are you still pulling those tail spikes out?
Sure.
With the
I was
Manticore
to say-
that is now alive.
Oh, I'm
And
sorry,
awake.
Mr. Manticore. She was also pulling out your tail spikes. Oh,
Those
we
grow
know
back.
we know you regrow those would you mind giving us some of those as well? We'll heal you a little bit more too to compensate.
Roll a persuasion check. Another persuasion check for the Manticore. This one's lower at 12.
Yeah, we're good.
They said.
Yeah,
Okay.
30-20.
So the Manticore will just eject the remaining tail spikes. So you grabbed 6. So there were 4 left. So I believe you have 10 in your possession that are intact currently. And then Ilea will do another Cure Wounds as part of the promise. But this time it was a 4, so another 6 points to Manticore friend.
So
I'm sorry that it had to be this way, but again, we didn't want to kill you, but we did need some items from you. So I'm sorry that it had to be this way, but we didn't think we could strike a deal with you otherwise.
Such is the struggle.
amazing.
Thank you for understanding.
So
Well-
go ahead.
Oh, did you need anything else, Ignotes?
I was going to say one more thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
So as I'm climbing off, I climb off of the Manticore, and I've got my axe out and my shield arm, and I'll just disentangle it with my shield hand to get the net off of him. And I'll step back and I'll say, by the way, there's some spoiled meat at the top of that hill. Don't eat it. That was part of our plan. If you eat it, you'll probably die in the condition you're in.
It just turns to face you and just gives this wicked grin with bunch of serrated teeth.
And I say, yep, it's poisoned. And then I will hold my action for if it attacks any of us, I will kill it.
And it turns back and just begins padding away. Wounded, but alive. Its pride seriously wounded, but otherwise okay. And just begins stalking off in the northern direction that it had come from.
I'm just gonna wave at it and say, have a better day. All right.
That's so brutal.
And somebody messed up that guy's day. I hope he gets better.
I hope it, yeah.
And as you guys sit back and watch the Manticore kind of climb over the hill, suddenly you hear a...
Clapping?
And you turn around and you see Herrick walking out from the trees.
That's all right.
Now,
Were you stalking
that
it?
was quite a show.
I'm glad that we could perform for you.
And we'll pick up here next time.
Amazing.
Woohoo!
Before I forget, I'm gonna second wind and get some HP back.